committee will elect a chairperson, with parties expected to put forward their own nominations on who should lead the committee before it starts planning its program. Committee member Ian Cameron said at the weekend that the committee will focus on specific cases and not politics.
It zooms in on the specific issues. What's nice about it as well is I don't think it can easily be over-politicized. You're not going to get crowded with 25 people trying to showboat to get attention.
Once the investigation gets off the ground, the committee is expected to invite Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu to make submissions. Babalo Ndanza, Eyewitness News.
The Office of the Public Protector has rubbished claims that it's in talks with the Zimbabwean Human Rights Commission over concerns that foreign nationals are being denied healthcare in South Africa. This follows a run-in between some lobby groups such as an Operation Dudula, some political parties and foreign nationals at hospitals and clinics. Operation Dudula is among groups that say foreign nationals are putting strain on the country's stretched resources. Reports emerged over the weekend that the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, which plays the role of public protector in that country, had lodged a formal complaint with its counterpart in South Africa. The public protector's acting spokesperson, Dilim Soki, says the Section 9 institution hosted a ZHRC delegation last year, but on matters unrelated to the barring of Zimbabweans from South Africa's facilities.
The visit covered several issues commonly shared between institutions with a similar mandate, including but not limited to best practices within the environment, corruption, as well as challenges relating to service delivery in both countries, among those being healthcare systems.
Msoki says the public protector shared best practices to help strengthen the Commission's institutional capacity.
At no point did the discussions then nor recently focus on the denial of Zimbabwean nationals access to healthcare services in South Africa. We are therefore surprised by reports in the media about discussions which purportedly occurred recently and were centered around matters relating to Zimbabwean nationals being denied access to healthcare services in South Africa. Neither do we have record of a complaint of that kind.
The ANC says it respects but disagrees with the decision of its alliance partner, the SACP, to contest elections alone. Last year, the SACP Congress resolved to independently contest the upcoming local government elections and no longer under the ANC banner. The strained relationship was part of the agenda at the ANC's 4-day National Executive Committee meeting, which wrapped up yesterday. Tawiso Goba reports.
With the ANC's dwindling support in past elections, it needs all the votes it can get to retain all the municipalities it currently controls. In his closing address, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the SACP's decision to contest elections alone will weaken all progressive parties.
As the ANC, we have no wish nor do we have any intention to interfere with the decision that the South African Communist Party has taken. However, as we have indicated to the South African Communist Party, our ally, we disagree with the decision.
Ramaphosa says people with dual memberships between the parties are still welcome in the ANC. However, in June, the ANC's first Deputy Secretary General, Nomvula Mokonyane, kicked out SACP members who were sitting in on the party's election strategy meeting in Mpumalanga. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And a split in an alleged underworld crime organization called the Brotherhood, police corruption and the birth of a nightclub security war all came under the spotlight in the Western Cape High Court. Alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Donkey Boyson and 11 others are on trial for the murder of the man dubbed the Steroid King, Brian Weinstein, in 2017. Carlo Peterson reports.
A Hawks detective highlighted an incident at Cocoa Bar nightclub in 2016 which caused a split in the group, resulting in Colin Boyson joining their rival, alleged underworld gang boss Nafis Modak. She also used a recording of a phone call between Liffman and Nordier to highlight an incident at a property auction in Parow in March 2017.
Mark and Andre were at the auction.
In a separate trial, Modak previously testified he decided to take over security at Cape Town's nightclubs from Liffman after they had an argument at the auction. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,372.33 an ounce. The rand is at 17.93 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, 20.72 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.66 a barrel.
Traffic remains heavily backed up on the M1 North. This is between Boyson's Road and Grayston Drive. That's due to a major accident that happened right near the Corlett Drive exit in the Melrose area. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. About a 30-minute hold up altogether. And if you're traveling on the R59 North, leaving the Alberton area, do expect major traffic volumes. This is between Swartkoppies Road and Kliprivier Drive.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, an ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will meet for the first time today to elect its chairperson.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
What are the matters that matter to you?
702 listens.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Eight minutes after 9 o'clock. Sanmonani, Dumelang, Bonjour, Goeiemorgen, Dimasheroni Yabodzi. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show on this 5th day of the most incredible month of August, the month where the most beautiful humans were really born, if we're being honest. And I'm not kidding you. Check who was born in August in your circle. You will find that they are the most amazing people you have ever met. Huh? Beautiful in and out. Like, I even believe that God was biased here. He favored August babies too much. Too much. But we ain't complaining. We're happy to be a blessing to the world. Am I lying? Where are my August babies, fellow babies at? Am I lying? Do you not know the most amazing humans that were born in August? 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. I'm not debating this though. Here's a question. Why is President Jacob Zuma so obsessed with President Cyril Ramaphosa? Why does he hate him so much? You know, I've come across politicians who hate each other publicly, but that's theatrics, that's optics. Behind closed doors, they're actually cordial with each other. But the hatred Zuma seems to have on President Cyril Ramaphosa is quite scary. And I'll take you through a few things President Zuma has done or said to demonstrate to you why I think he detests President Ramaphosa or he's obsessed with him. I mean, the latest now is that even though the former president and the MK party lost their direct access case in the Constitutional Court last week over the president's decision to put on special leave Senzo Mchunu and appoint Firoz Kachalia as police minister. He now wants the president to reverse the decision now before Friday, or he will approach the courts, which is fine. In fact, I think this helps us, to also know whether these decisions by the president were taken correctly according to the law. I mean, I always appreciate constitutional or legislative clarity. And then the MK party's statement says, if Ramaphosa doesn't resign or doesn't reverse the decision by Friday or doesn't resign by Friday, they'll approach the courts. But they're also saying if members of parliament don't vote in support of the motion of no confidence, then the anger of South Africans will be justified. Are you kidding me? What are you playing at here? What are you trying to do? Yeah? And then the statement says the MK party will continue to hold peaceful protests in support of General Mkhwanazi. They just throw it in there. Do you agree that Zuma hates Ramaphosa or is obsessed with him? Or do you think Zuma is just trying to hold President Cyril Ramaphosa accountable? And if you agree that he's obsessed or he hates him, where do you think this anger comes from? Like, do you understand this hatred? Does he hate what Ramaphosa stands for? Does he truly believe the ANC under Ramaphosa is captured? And if so, why direct the anger towards the president and not to the whole ANC leadership? Because that's what I sometimes find missing. I think he's obsessed with President Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he hates him. Do you think that's justified? If you agree, you can comment on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. You're welcome to send us your comments on YouTube as well. You can just go to the 702 YouTube page if you're not already watching us on YouTube. I'll read your comments from there as well. Here's another question. Why do we continue to be blinded by loyalty? Some of us. You know, something shocked me this weekend as I was reading the Sunday, papers. There was a story about the suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya, who has gone to the lawyers and is suing or intends to sue General Mkhwanazi for what he said during that press briefing, calling him, someone who's associated with criminals or a criminal. And basically, he's suing him for defamation, right? Now, this journalist then from the City Press newspaper contacts General Mkhwanazi and asks General Mkhwanazi a question like any other journalist would, right? If you're doing a story about someone who's like taking somebody to court, you're going to ask for their right of reply, comment. And then General Mkhwanazi responds with, and I quote, according to the City Press, he responds with, and I quote here, "You have made it your mission to test my patience. Out of 68 million people in this country, over 150,000 SAPS members and over 30 SAPS senior police officers. But you chose to ask me this question. Why is it important to you to get my opinion on matters that doesn't concern me? Your independence as a journalist is questionable. I hope you're not one of the beneficiaries from the crime intelligence slush fund and drug money," end quote. Now, I find this to be wild. A journalist asks Mkhwanazi questions to get a response, and then the General Mkhwanazi responds with questions that the journalist may be a beneficiary of drug money or crime intelligence slush fund, all for asking questions. How do you justify that? I think that's ridiculous. Not because you have to now question the credibility of General Mkhwanazi or what he has said. No, because he has responded in this way. And I would still find it wild if it was any other person, Senzo Mchunu, Shadrack Sibiya, President Cyril Ramaphosa, whoever is a public official. It's okay for you to lose your cool. I mean, in a way, in some way with a journalist, fine, I can get that. To make assumptions that a journalist is receiving money from a crime intelligence slush fund or from drug cartels just because they've asked you questions is ridiculous. And I worry that we're getting into a space where now allegations are just going to be thrown at people. I mean, I'm apparently captured myself because I tweeted this morning and I said, this is something I find wild. Now it's, yeah, you are also captured. Hence I'm asking, blind loyalty. Eh? So you can't criticize something that somebody else that you love, that you appreciate so much does. Do you find it okay for General Mkhwanazi to make an assumption like this without any evidence? Do you think that's justified? So if I call him myself and I say, hey, Shadrack Sibiya is taking you to court for defamation, what's your response? And you can say no comment, that's fine. And he responds like that. Would that be justified? I'm just surprised that sometimes we get so obsessed with people that we end up justifying nonsense. I think it's ridiculous that anybody in public office will make an allegation like that against a journalist without proving it. That's very dangerous. And then afterwards, that conversation was leaked. This poor journalist has now been attacked by people. Why are you harassing our general? So journalists can't do their job now? Because you are going to think that, oh, my fave, my lovely general here is being attacked. That's crazy. That is really, really, really crazy. If there's a journalist who's receiving some drug money or is a beneficiary of a crime intelligence /fund, then General Mkhwanazi must expose that, must come out with evidence of that. And not just make a suggestion like that. I wonder what your view is on that. You can also call us on 011-883-0702. Between 10 and 11 o'clock, we're going to be in conversation with the mayor of Emfuleni, local municipality, Sipho Khadebe. This is part of the check-in that we're doing with several mayors. We started with the Emfuleni Mayor, Nkosi Phile Xakaza. Then we brought in the mayor of Tshwane, Dr. Nasipi Moya. Last week we had the mayor of Joburg. Today we speak to the mayor of Emfuleni. This is an opportunity for you guys to raise with the mayors the issues and concerns that you have in your metros. You know, they can also update you on their service delivery programs. For me, this is an opportunity I want to give you to actually engage directly with the mayors in your metro. So please take up the opportunity and call in with your questions, your concerns around Emfuleni between 10 and 11. At 11, we're going to do our World of Work feature. Today, we're discussing how to negotiate counter-offers. And then at 11:30, we're going to do our health and wellness feature, and we'll be talking about walking and running as a form of weight loss. How do you go about it? That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Hola Clemza,
As a form of weight loss. How do you go about it? That's the show
I
coming
also
up.
believe that former President Jacob Zuma truly dislike current President Cyril Ramaphosa. But I think it has to do with the fact that nobody knows who Cyril really is in the ANC. Many people will believe he was just parachuted. That's just my take, but I share your sentiments. The hate is deep.
Hi there, good morning, 702 listeners, good morning, Clement. This Jacob Zuma issue, I agree with you. The guy is just being spiteful and angry, and it really doesn't make sense. Whatever he's playing at, I don't think it's going to work out. Court after court, it's just futile effort to try and evade his own court cases, to delay them further until the guy eventually passes away. Sorry to say that, but it's just a futile effort, and I believe you. I agree with you 100%. My name is Stanley. Thanks, Clement.
Yeah, Clement, this is Cyril Zuma. Clement, there's a lot happening. If people can't get their way in trying to, do whatever they want to do, they always resort. It's either violence or anything else. In this case, Zuma is fighting his battles, through courts and stuff. Yeah. Chickens are coming home, to roost.
Look, and I do think that, former President Jacob Zuma has every right to approach the courts. As I said, yes, there are cases where it's Stalingrad approach, but there are also cases where I'm like, actually, I'm interested to know. Like, I think legislative and constitutional clarity works for all of us, because sometimes presidents think they can do as they please, because there's a lot of power that's concentrated in that office of the president. So it helps us when some matters go to court, because then we're able to, for instance, Zuma has been taken to court himself over some decisions he's taken when he was in government, including the removal of Pravin Gordhan, remember? And we used to think that, the president can do as he pleases, but what we found from the courts was, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm paraphrasing, the decisions of the president, even the decisions of parliament must be rational. So it doesn't mean you can just act as you please, you can just wake up and take whatever decision. There must still be some level of rationality there. So I do appreciate where sometimes maybe they need clarity, but I think we have seen instances where you can just see here that, there's an obsession here, or there's really, really serious hatred. AB, you calling us from Joburg. What do you want to say about Mkhwanazi? Good morning, General Mkhwanazi. Hi.
Yes, morning, Clement, and the listeners. Clement, my take is that General Mkhwanazi has every right to ask questions, because at the moment the focus is on him, and every effort is made for him to start spilling the beans as to where he gets information from and who's sponsored by who. That is reserving for the actual inquiry that is still forthcoming. And for him to ask the journalist, because I believe he asked, "Are you?"
No, he didn't ask. Let me read you what he said.
Yeah.
Can I read you what he said?
Correct.
He
Yes,
said, "You've made it a mission to test my patience," and then speaks, and then towards the end he says, "Your independence as a journalist is questionable. I hope you are not one of the beneficiaries from the crime intelligence slush fund and drug money," end quote. So let me ask you this, AB. The independence of a journalist is questionable. Why would he question that when the journalist has just asked for his right of reply?
Well, he would ask that because the minute he answers the correct way, or the minute he answers with the truth is already out. So he's got nothing to tell the commission.
No, but he can still say, why is he not saying no comment then?
No. He wanted to engage because probably he wanted the judges to respond in a certain way. Excuse my voices in the morning. Maybe he wanted the judges to respond. So
and
that
say what?
he can actually open the can of worms.
No, but wait, he's questioning the independence of a journalist who's asking for his right of reply. Where is he getting that from? What's the basis of that?
Yeah, Clement, we live in a very murky world. And we live in a world where corruption and everything, and malpractices has infested the core of the society. So if I was in his shoes, I would not, reserve that question. I would suggest the same question too.
Why? But based on what is what I'm asking. So, AB, for instance, if I'm General Mkhwanazi and AB, you're a journalist and you're asking me for my right of reply, and I, as a general, have some information that you're a journalist that somehow received some monies from a suspicious bank account, I can make that claim, right? And not only make that claim, I go further and I actually lay a complaint or even contact your editor. That's actually a rational way to do it. So in this case, are we going to go around accusing people of their independence being questionable because they're asking questions?
Well, Clement, my take is that General Mkhwanazi has done his own investigations. And in those investigations, there are deep-rooted suspicions. And there are also deep-rooted links,
So every journalist is going to be looked at like that?
Journalists have been used everywhere. It was used during
every journalist?
Not every journalist.
So why is he making an assumption that this one is?
He must have a reason for that.
Then I think it's very irresponsible of him. If he's got reason to believe that this journalist has received drug money, it's irresponsible of him not to do anything about it. It is. The same way that it is irresponsible of him to go and say the judiciary is captured and he doesn't go and give the evidence and lay a complaint, because the judiciary says, hey, please lay a complaint so that the Judicial Commission can investigate. It's irresponsible to have information like that actually destabilizes the very core of our constitutional democracy, and you don't do anything about it except to make an allegation.
Well, these allegations that he makes are still to be tested.
True.
We know that commission of inquiry still needs to sit with him. Mm-hmm. I'm saying from where I'm standing, let's give him a chance. Let him spill the beans at the right time. The right time being when the commission starts asking questions.
Okay, so do you and I agree, AB? If he goes to that commission and he doesn't give us any evidence that this journalist may have received this drug money, then that's problematic. Can we agree on that?
Yes, we agree.
Okay, great. AB, I'm going to save your number. As soon as he arrives there at the inquiry and he concludes his testimony and he doesn't give us any evidence of this journalist receiving any drug monies, then I'm going to call you back on air. Wonderful. AB, thank you so much for your call. Chief Makhanya, you want to talk about Jacob Zuma. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob Manyathela.
Sawubona ba.
Ninjani kodwa?
Siyaphila. Go ahead.
I think this is the wrong question. I think we need to ask what has the president done to Zuma as well for him to respond. Now, if I was working with you, Manyathela, and you were my successor, and you then tarnish my legacy, and you want to finish my legacy, I would see that as an act of war, and I will engage you. Now, let's look at that. TM had a row with Zuma, but to now, he's got a legacy in Africa. Zuma utilized it. He made sure that he can go anywhere in Africa. If he needed to send him to Africa, he sent him to missions. That didn't happen with Zuma. Zuma could not even go. If you remember, there was a situation where Chief Mandela was sent to, I think, Uganda to go and stop him from going to a vacation. Even our former president, our deputy president, Paul Mashatile, was sent to an envoy in one of the countries to stop him. Even Swaziland was engaged.
Wait, so are you saying Zuma is still angry about stuff that happens in the underground?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I really don't think so. If Cyril did not do what he did to, I worked very closely with Ubab.
What did Cyril do?
Sorry?
What did Cyril Ramaphosa do to him?
But I've just said to you.
So that's why I'm asking.
He cancelled his legacy. His legacy is non-existent.
The 9 wasted years.
The 9 wasted years. After. I'm talking about not the 9 wasted years, Manyathela, you're being naughty. I'm talking about after he left office. When you are a president, a former president, in order for your legacy to carry on, like TM's legacy was Renaissance, African Renaissance.
Yeah.
And that is what Zuma helped Mbeki build.
Yeah. So Zuma didn't go after Mbeki and criticize his tenure. So Ramaphosa started criticizing Zuma's tenure. That's why you think Zuma is angry at him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
was it not justified?
From going into... No, I don't think so. Not in the way that it was done.
All right, let's hear what the other listeners think. Chief Makhanya, thank you so much for your comment. He says, no, it wasn't justified. The president was criticizing Zuma. What do you think? Huh? But also, what do you think of August babies? Because I really think that they're best humans ever, Amo.
Yes, I very much agree with you, Clement, on the August babies. Definitely there are some of the best people around. Today is my wife's birthday. Her name is Tembela Nala. And certainly, in fact, myself and the kids do call her God's favorite child. So, because she seems to have definitely found that extra bit of favor from God. Anyway, I just wanted to wish her a happy birthday. My name is Tulani Nala, based in Boksburg.
Oh, Tulani, happy birthday to your wife. I don't think it's extra favor. I really think that, and I feel sorry for, of course, other people who were born in other months, because I feel like God was so, he was so unfairly too much. He favored us as the August babies. He was like, these ones, I'm going to make them the best humans. Tell me right now you don't know someone who was born in August around your life who is so special.
Everyone is special, Clement.
No, there's special and then there's August baby special.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to disagree there.
Amo, do you not know someone who's just incredible who was born in August?
People are incredible, whether or not they are born in August. Okay? In fact, I feel like July babies are the cream of the crop.
Because you're almost close to us. God was already in a happy mood when he created you guys.
I'm not even born in July. But...
So on YouTube, Ngaz says, Clement, as an August baby myself, I share your sentiments. My birthday is on the 20th. Okay, wonderful. My birthday is on the 10th of August. Is this coming Sunday? And then another one says, hey, Clement, you are so right. This is on YouTube as well. Keegan says, you're so right. Just something special about August baby. It's my birthday today, so I will be celebrating life and health. Oh, Keegan on YouTube. Thank you. And yeah, happy birthday, you little special August baby? It's 9:31. Are you leading with how special August babies are, Sfiso Zulu?
I mean, I can if you want me to.
I mean, what other story is there?
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. Mpumalanga police have confirmed the resurfacing of 28 illegal miners at the Sheba gold mine. This is the second group to emerge since the mass arrests of nearly 500 Zamazamas at the mine last Friday. About 494 illegal miners appeared in the Barberton Magistrates Court yesterday, with the latest group expected to make their appearance in the coming days. The Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the lack of prosecution of apartheid-era cases is expected to cost the country 45 million rand. The President established the commission in May and it is expected to run for 6 months. Retired Constitutional Justice Sisi Gampepe will chair the hearings. And a severe weather alert has been lifted on Beijing, but residents are being urged to stay vigilant because of natural disasters. More than 82,000 people were evacuated yesterday over fears of more deadly floods in the Chinese capital. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. How are we looking on the roads, Amo?
Well, Clement, we've got roadworks taking place in the Bedfordview area. That's on the N12 West, approaching the Gilulis interchange. Delays coming out of Edenville Road. There's also queuing traffic along the M1. In fact, both directions are heavily backed up due to an accident reported right near the Caller Drive exit. About a 20-minute hold up there. If you're traveling on the N1 North towards Rivonia Road, do expect a bit of a backup due to roadworks taking place right after Winnie Mandela Drive. And then in Kaya Sand, delays along Malibongwe Drive, both directions of the road between River Road and Northumberland Avenue due to an earlier accident. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hey, Jim, what's wrong? Hi, Bob. I'm just so confused. I'm trying to buy a car, and I don't know where to stop.
Well, have you tried to... Cars.co.za.
Have you tried to...
Cars.co.za.
Sorry, we're trying to do an advert.
Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to cars.co.za and let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
I cannot imagine President Ramaphosa resigning at 10 o'clock on Friday, as they demand in a letter that they've issued through their attorneys.
I don't think President Ramaphosa will resign on the basis of that letter. And if you just recall that the only instance, rather, in the Constitution under which a president has to resign is when there's a vote of no confidence against him. And that will be the case. That resignation will also mean that his entire cabinet will have to resign too.
Benedict Piri, our legal analyst.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Transnet. Their CEO, Advocate Michelle Phillips, will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference.
To live wealthier, you need to be able to grow your assets. At Standard Bank Private, you get a team of internationally acclaimed financial experts to advise you on local and global investment strategies. Plus, being with a leader in home loans, you can start expanding your property portfolio. So, come live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Apply online at standardbank.co.za. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Choose Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket, and save on Knox Hydration Drink 500 mils, any 2 for 28 Rand. Finish dishwasher tablets 45 or 56 pack, any 2 for 419 Rand. And Lindt chocolate product range, buy any and save 20%. Valid until this Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Ah, choices. We love them. Like a Jator dealer asking you, so which one do you like? And you're like, Do you like the bold, stylish, head-turning dashing from $4,999 per month, or the adventurous 7-seater X70 Plus from $5,199 per month? Both. Because yes, choices. Book your test drive at jetor.coza and make an excellent choice either way. T's and C's apply. Jetor. Drive your future.
Every business begins with heart, but it thrives with support. And no one backs Gauteng's dreamers and doers like 702, Yoko, and you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko are back to recognize and celebrate the local entrepreneurs making life better. From your favorite coffee spot to the baker who knows your name, from the salon that raised generations to the bold newcomer raising the bar. Just think of the business that made you feel seen. Now's your chance to say, I see you. I see you. Go to primemediaplus.com to view the categories and make your nomination. Because this province isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence. And excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
23 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Hi, good morning, Clement. Hey, my bro. My mother-in-law is also celebrating her 80th birthday on the 10th.
Amazing.
Next week. Not next week, this weekend.
Sunday.
So, happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday. I'm all celebrating mine on the 12th. Next week, Tuesday. Thank you, Baba.
August babies, the blessings to this hectic world.
Hi, Clement. I agree with you, sir. I completely agree with you. I'm an August baby. Birthday is on the 14th. My friend and also former colleague, his birthday is on the 15th, Sean. So, yeah, I agree with you. You know, August babies are just special. And, yeah, happy birthday to all the August babies. And obviously mine's still coming in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Why does it sound like it's the August babies talking about how special they are? It's beginning to sound awkward. Where are the other people to attest to that? Yeah? Where are the other people who are going to say, hey, I know an August baby and they are so cool? Huh? Where are you guys at? Don't hate. It's 20 minutes before 10.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Surprise and Mandla, I see your calls. I'll start with you. I want to quickly take Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who is the MK Party spokesperson. Nhlanhla, how are you doing?
Good morning, Clement, and good morning to your listeners. I'm good, thanks.
So I see that on your statement, when you talk about President Cyril Ramaphosa answering these questions, resigning as well, you said that as the MK Party, you feel like if members of parliament don't vote in support of the motion of no confidence in the president, then the anger of South Africans will be justified. What do you mean by that?
Well, you'll recall that on the 13th of July, Clement, when the president then made an announcement, it was nothing more than a catastrophic anticlimax, where South Africans expected the president to take, serious decisions and to take them into their confidence and fire the person in question, being the Minister of Police then, Mr. Mkhwanazi. Instead, the president went on to announce a judicial commission of inquiry. And remember, also one of the things that we're asking is, in light of General Mkhwanazi's issues that he raised, or the accusations, is that he did say that the judiciary itself is complicit and implicated. Now, you would have found that even SC Katz in the court said that, you can have a judicial commission of inquiry. You can just have a commission of inquiry. So why, President, do you then call on the establishing of a judicial commission of inquiry? And you know very well that the same judiciary in this case seems to be implicated. So we just felt that, and South Africans, as you would have seen, were very disappointed at the announcement made by the president. Instead, he refers to Section 91.3c of appointing Professor Kachalia in an acting role.
I get that, right? And we've had conversations on the show about even some of the legal points that you raised, and of course the presidency raised on the show. I suppose what surprised me is that like the anger of South Africans will be justified. So help me clarify it. You don't necessarily mean that if South Africans somehow, I don't know, take to the streets and they start being violent, for instance, that would be justified. That's not what you mean, yeah?
No. We're not a violent party at all. I mean, we're a law-abiding citizen. As much as we raise serious concerns about the Constitution, we still follow the law to the letter. So we're not in any way calling for South Africans to act in a violent manner. What we're saying is that we had a three-pronged program, which is 1, in Parliament, motion of no confidence; 2, the courts; 3, the streets, in a form of demonstrations, and peacefully so.
Oh, okay. All right. So we probably can expect some demonstrations if maybe even that motion doesn't pass. All right, let's wait and see. Nhlanhla Ndlela, thank you so much for coming through. MK Party spokesperson. I just wanted that clarity around what they meant on their statement when they say if he doesn't resign or if members of parliament don't vote in support of the motion, then the anger of South Africans will be justified.
Your voice, your station, your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
Mandla, you are in Cape Town. What are your thoughts? Good morning. You want to talk about General Mkhwanazi? Hey, Mandla.
Hello.
Hey.
You.
Sure, Puti.
You.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Bob.
my brother. Yeah, before I talk about Mkhwanazi, can I talk about Zuma?
Yeah, if you'll be quick, because I've got a lot of calls I want to take.
Okay, let's leave Zuma. My brother, Mkhwanazi is right to suggest that to the journalists, because mainstream media is toxic in South Africa. Mainstream media want us South Africans to be homogeneous in our way of thinking, They direct us to a certain direction that all of us must think that way, At times, most of them, they want to be spokespersons of government. And they want us all to behave that way. Once you have a different view, they start to attack you, they start to like sideline you, and all of that. So it is good for Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to ask those questions, For instance, during the negotiations of the GNU, the mainstream media against the DA, that now the DA is busy wanting positions, cabinet positions. They don't care about South Africa. Instead of asking the ANC, why don't you give the DA what they deserve according to the votes? Give them the ministries that they deserve. Instead of attacking the ANC, they attack the DA.
Yeah.
And they want us all South Africans to think that the same way. Some Mkhwanazi is right to ask.
What is
question.
mainstream media, Mandla? Does that include me on 702?
It does.
Okay, then you are wrong then about what happened with the DA, because you are arguing that mainstream media didn't ask the ANC that question. That's wrong, because I have asked the ANC that question, and I know of other journalists who have done so equally.
Yeah, my brother, look, Clement, if 90% of something wrong is happening, it doesn't mean that 10% is not recognized, and we don't see the 10% that is doing right things. But like the ANC, we say ANC is corrupt, but not all members of the ANC are corrupt.
Yeah, I say that because that would be factually incorrect to say the whole of the ANC is corrupt. The same way that it's factually incorrect to say mainstream media is. So I would rather say some in the mainstream media or some in the ANC are corrupt, because that's more factual than just making a generalized statement that doesn't make sense. Because then I will say...
But if majority, like say, black people are poor, we've got Ramaphosa who are billionaires, Petrus Motsepe who are billionaires, but we are making a statement that says black people are poor, and we are allowed to make that statement.
Yeah,
because majority of black people are poor.
Yes, but not
and
all.
Because of the majority, that are poor, we are allowed to make a statement to say black people are poor.
I hear you, Mandla, but not all of them are poor. So I'm saying I think it's important, especially when you get to the specifics. For instance, in this case, to bring it back to General Mkhwanazi, General Mkhwanazi has every right to react whichever he wants to a journalist. But if he's going to question the independence of a journalist and make suggestions that they are receiving some drug money, then they better have evidence to suggest that. And it can't be based on, but mainstream media behaves in a weird way. That's unfair. I could have been the one that sent this message to General Mkhwanazi. He could have responded to me in the same way. That would have still been wrong. Even if it was you, Mandla, if you were maybe a journalist anywhere else. You cannot make a suggestion like that unless you've got evidence to prove it. That's my worry. So
he might have the evidence.
Okay, we'll wait.
The journalist should not take offense of that particular statement if he knows or she knows that he or she is innocent, because we know that the money that is going around, from drug cartels, from the state security agency, like what happened to the fees must fall, and them bribing the leaders of the fees must fall, because of we know that money, statements like those must be made, and journalists do not take offense of that.
I think when it comes from a public official, that is very important. I don't think a journalist must take offense. There are many things that are said about me. I don't take offense from them, but I will raise them. I think when you're a public official, especially in a position where a lot of the things that you are saying, people are taking it now as gospel truth, and this is not to question what he has said, because now we're beginning to sound like when we talk about the Middle East, where when you criticize Israel, then you're anti-Semitic. Now that's a case here where when you find one thing that's been done wrong here against General Mkhwanazi, then you are captured. You must be receiving drug money as well, because how dare you criticize and disagree with this person on this one thing, even though you may have agreed with them on many other things. I'm sorry, I'm not part of group thought. That's not something that I'm going to subject myself to. I'm an independent thinker. When I see something that's right, the same way that I actually defended him just last night on Twitter when Glenis Breitenberg was telling EWN that why did Mkhwanazi go to the media when he didn't come to parliament? And I asked, but he did come to parliament. Similarly so, when he's going to behave in a weird way that contradicts how I think a public official should act, I will raise that out. And I'm not raising it because I'm taking offense on behalf of a journalist. I'm raising it because I can see that it can be irresponsible given where it's intended and how it's going to be received. That's why right now, people are calling journalists who are questioning this. That's why SANEF, where is SANEF? Are they going to release a statement? I bet you they're scared themselves. They're probably scared themselves. And that's an environment that's been created. What country is this where now people are scared to, like if General Mkhwanazi does something wrong tomorrow, people are going to be scared to speak out because how dare you touch him? I'm sorry, I don't operate like that. I say what is truth. Whether I like the person or I hate the person, I say what is truth and I will say what I think is problematic. And in this case, unless General Mkhwanazi has evidence to suggest that this journalist has received monies from drug lords, it's irresponsible of him not to do anything about it, because we don't need journalists who do that. Expose him now and many others who are actually compromised like that, as opposed to make a suggestion like that people are going to take and start attacking the poor journalists. That is irresponsible.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsepang from Midrand. I love 702 because of the credibility of their news, the also credibility of their information. You can rely on their presenters, and on the lighter note, I also love their Waste Quiz feature.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
So we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
Whenever you hear deep in the heart and art of jazz, think Siya Makuzeni with the big band, Jasmine Horn, Alun Wad, the Baylor Project, Jose James sings Badu, Umusangare, Esperanza Spalding, Michelle Dugiocello, Elaine, Tezo, Munei, Mondli Ngobo, and many other spectacular icons. Think Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival. 4 stages at the Sandton Convention Center, 26th, 27th, and 28th September. And take me there. Book via Ticketmaster.
Hollywood Bets is bringing you a bounty of prizes with Spina Zonke prize drops. Gear up to unravel an endless supply of treasures and claim fantastic riches with a chance to win an amazing share of 2.5 million rand in cash and prizes. All you have to do is bet 2 rand or more on selected pragmatic play games on Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays between 12:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Feel the ultimate thrill when you log in for a spin and bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Mr. Govender, congrats on the retirement. You just sold your car to We Buy Cars. Tell us about it.
Yes, it just gathered dust in the garage, so I exchanged it for cold hard cash. Now my wife and I can enjoy a stress-free retirement.
Retiring the car as you retire. Nice. So why We Buy Cars?
It was so quick. They came over to our house to do the evaluation, and we sold it the same day. Tops, man.
Okay, so now you got even more time on your hands, eh?
Exactly.
We Buy Cars. Geared for your next chapter. Geared for you.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
8 minutes before 10 o'clock, I had clips that I needed to play you, but we couldn't. Well, we could have played them, but there was just too many calls that I thought, let's just go straight to the calls. Let me take you back to 4 years ago, Abel. This is when the former president, Jacob Zuma, wrote a scathing letter. It was unprecedented, never seen before. Wrote a scathing letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa. This is after President Ramaphosa remember when he said, ANC is corruption accused number 1. Ooh, Zuma was fuming. And I remember the story broke at the time. I was working on ENCA. I was reading the news in the afternoon, and the story broke during my show. Let's move to this now. Former President Jacob Zuma has penned a scathing letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa. He's questioning Ramaphosa's commitment to fighting corruption. Zuma also challenges Ramaphosa to come clean about financial donations for the campaign that won him the ANC presidency in 2017, better known as CR17. This, as the ANC's National Executive Committee starts a meeting that's expected to discuss widespread corruption implicating party members and employees. Let's chat about that letter with ENCA's political editor, Vuyo Mvoko. Vuyo, thank you so much for your time. I've just finished reading this thick 12-page letter, and I was looking at how the former president characterizes that letter that Cyril Ramaphosa wrote to ANC members and leaders. He calls it a public relations exercise. He says it's unforgivable, fundamentally flawed, devastating, it's a betrayal, a cardinal error. What is he concerned about? So that's what happened back in 5 years ago, when the President Zuma wrote a letter. And then, remember at the last ANC conference, I remember we were broadcasting live, the Clement Manyathela Show was live from the ANC conference. And Jacob Zuma decided to take Ramaphosa to court, like on the eve of the ANC conference. It was so bizarre. You could tell that this was being done to try and discredit him. Of course, that failed. But do you remember that time as well? We even interviewed Emfuleni Mayor about it. I want to bring in Emfuleni Mayor now, who's the spokesperson for the Jacob Zuma Foundation. You may have seen yesterday the foundation tweeting a statement about President Cyril Ramaphosa being criminally charged. Mr. Manyi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and good morning to your listeners.
So your statement says that the president has been charged in a private prosecution with the criminal offense of being an accessory after the fact in the crimes committed by Advocate Billy Downer. Just explain to us, when did you start this private prosecution process? And the reason I was asking Emfuleni Mayor, when did you start this process, is because, I mean, it was already like, why now on the eve of the ANC conference? And that's the things that make you think, is the former president obsessed with President Cyril Ramaphosa? Does he hate him that much? Huh? Here's what Julius Malema said during an interview on Politricks with Tsidi Madia. Politricking with Tsidi Madia. Julius Malema spoke to Tsidi about Zuma and how he's just constantly after Ramaphosa.
And my engagement with the MK people, especially Nhleko, I was saying, the demand for Ramaphosa to be removed, it's immaterial now. We now have to capture the state power and then operate together, the three of us, plus those who want to come with us. Through that operation, if Ramaphosa is for white capital and working with white capital, he will either release himself or there could be a consensus amongst ourselves, including the ANC, that this guy must be removed through a motion of no confidence. So they say Zuma is a chess player. You can't insist on going to direction where you see you're not going to have any impact. There's sometimes you have to retreat in politics, even if you still know what you want to achieve. But to just say, till to date, Ramaphosa, I'm like, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, that's what Julius also was saying. Mandi, you calling from Eden Vale. Do you think that the former president is obsessed with President Ramaphosa?
Yes, good morning, Clement and the listeners. I definitely think that President Zuma is preoccupied with President Ramaphosa's. I think there's bitterness. I mean, if you look at how Zuma was, how he resigned, I think he still blames Ramaphosa for that. And, for him and Zuma and especially those that come from exile, I think they believe that they are entitled to be presidents or to have one of their, one of those people being president. So, he hasn't accepted Ramaphosa as the president of the country, and he's continuously bickering, and he knows he's been the president of the country. He knows what channels he needs to take. I mean, if he's not happy, take him to court, just like he did with the other cases that he has taken Ramaphosa to court regarding the Billy Downer issue. So he must do that. He knows what the process is. He's also bitter. I mean, in terms of his current standing within the ANC, and if you look at what the previous ANC presidents have, they're standing within the party and within the country, the likes of Mbeki, Mandela, the Lutulis, they have, their reputation still stands.
Yeah.
Zuma, having been kicked out of the party, his reputation as a former president.
But Mbeki was recalled as well, and yet he still, seems to have maintained some level of respect. Well, depending on how you even define that. But do we then blame Cyril Ramaphosa for how the reputation of former President Jacob Zuma has turned out to be? I don't know if that's fair. I got you though, Mandi. I hear what you say. Thank you for your thoughts. It's a minute before 10.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult, day 3274. Every time I go to a fancy birthday dinner, I'm reminded I'm just 5 fancy birthday dinners away from financial ruin. Note to self, don't make any more born in June friends.
Recently removed from the family payroll? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Don't miss out on the Powerball jackpot estimated at a mind-blowing 124 million Rand this Tuesday. Dare to dream big by playing Powerball now for the estimated 124 million Rand jackpot and your chance at multi-millions. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda Pusher Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Mpumalanga police have confirmed the resurfacing of 28 illegal miners at the Sheba Gold Mine. This is the second group to emerge since the mass arrest of nearly 500 Zamazamas at the mine last Friday. 494 illegal miners appeared in the Barberton Magistrates Court yesterday, with the latest group expected to make their appearances in the coming days. Mongezi Koko has more.
Police say their large-scale operation Valumgodi aimed at cracking down on illegal mining may be over, but arrests continue. The latest group of 28 followed yesterday's 24, all of whom spent the weekend underground. Provincial police say they ventured deeper into unsafe shafts to evade arrest, but were met by private security as soon as they surfaced and were handed over to the SAPS. It remains unclear how many others may still be underground. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Barberton.
The Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the lack of prosecution of apartheid-era cases is expected to cost the country 45 million rand. The President established the commission in May, and it is expected to run for 6 months. Retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Gampepe will chair the hearings. Khomozo Modise has more.
South Africa is already going to fork out almost 148 million rand for the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi over 6 months. But the Justice Department will also have to foot the bill for the Gampepe Judicial Commission of Inquiry, which will investigate whether attempts were made to prevent investigation and prosecution of apartheid-era crimes. Spokesperson Terence Manasseh.
The Gampepe Commission is estimated to cost 45 million over 6 months, covering staffing, consultants, services and operational needs.
While the work of the commission started on Friday, a call for submissions is only expected to be made in the next 10 to 14 days. Manasseh says Justice Minister Mamuluku Kubai is developing a standard operating procedure to improve consistency and cost efficiency in future commissions. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News.
The ANC says it respects but disagrees with the decision of its alliance partner, the SACP, to contest elections alone. Last year, the SACP Congress resolved to independently contest the upcoming local government elections and no longer under the ANC banner. The strained relationship was part of the agenda at the ANC's 4-day National Executive Committee meeting, which wrapped up yesterday. Tabiso Goba reports.
With the ANC's dwindling support in past elections, it needs all the votes it can get to retain all the municipalities it currently controls. In his closing address, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the SACP's decision to contest elections alone will weaken all progressive parties.
As the ANC, we have no wish, nor do we have any intention to interfere with the decision that the South African Communist Party has taken. However, as we have indicated to the South African Communist Party, our ally, we disagree with the decision.
Ramaphosa says people with dual memberships between the parties are still welcome in the ANC. However, in June, the ANC's first Deputy Secretary General, Nomvula Mokonyane, kicked out SACP members who were sitting in on the party's election strategy meeting in Mpumalanga. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And a severe weather alert has been lifted on Beijing, but residents have been urged to stay vigilant against natural disasters. More than 82,000 people were evacuated yesterday over fears of more deadly floods in the Chinese capital. The Weather Office had imposed a rainstorm warning, which is the highest in a 4-tier system yesterday, forecasting heavy downpours, and last week floods in Beijing's northern suburbs killed at least 44 people and left 9 missing. Gold is trading at $3,372.33 an ounce. The rand is at 17.93 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, 20.72 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.66 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the M1 South between Greystone Drive and Houghton Drive. This is due to a major accident scene that happened earlier this morning. If you're traveling in the northerly direction of this route, also expect delays coming out of Houghton Drive. While traveling in the Bedfordview area, specifically on the N12 West, we've got delays between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWM this hour. Mpumalanga police have confirmed the resurfacing of 28 illegal miners at the Sheba Gold Mine in Barberton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702. We're listening to you. You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Sanbonani, Dumelang. Welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you so much for staying with us here on 702. Let's just wrap up the 702 open line. Yeah, let's wrap up the 702 open line with some of the comments that came through, because I took more calls today than the voice notes. So let's just wrap up with these voice notes before we start our next conversation with the mayor of Emfuleni.
Morning, Clement. Morning to your listeners also. I don't think General Mkhwanazi is at fault here, because now he says that the journalist is testing his patience, So that clearly states that the journalist has been asking questions, and who knows, maybe General Mkhwanazi has been saying no comment, but now he's fed up and ends up giving that statement to the journalist, because now he doesn't know who's who now. He doesn't trust anyone. I'm pretty sure the guy has been getting thousands of calls since the statement he made. So I believe he was just fed up, just want to push away the journalist. Tabang here, thanks, man.
Thanks, Tabang. But what he say justified? So yes, you are fed up, you're frustrated, but is it justified to start questioning someone's independence based on the fact that they are constantly hounding you for comment? Is it justified to actually suggest that I hope you're not receiving money from some drug cartels? Please, guys, sometimes you just defend the indefensible. By the way, the journalist contacted Mkhwanazi and said, what is your response to the letter of demand from General Sibia and its contents? Please respond by midday tomorrow. Actually, any journalist who works for especially a Sunday paper or any newspaper, in fact, that's how you actually set a timeline. Because someone was saying, yeah, but the journalist is being rude by setting the time. Actually, that's what happens, especially with newspapers. Like, you set a timeline. Like, if it's a Sunday newspaper, you will set a timeline and say, we would like your response to come on this time, right? And look, if this journalist was being arrogant or rude, I would still think that that's problematic. I'm not here trying to support, and I'm not here trying to, the journalist is blameless. In this message, I'm not seeing anything wrong with it. But if he did, in fact, act in a weird way, I would still call it out. I'm just worried about this personality cult that sometimes I pick up where, for instance, a tweet that just came through, I saw it and I just giggled. Someone says, "Hi, Clement. Many journalists are plants of the establishment. Mkhwanazi has proof if he responds like this." How do you know that? How do you know that? And I'm glad that, we're going to be watching very closely what's going to happen at this commission of inquiry. There are two things I'm looking forward to. One, I really hope that, the inquiry is going to hear the full details of what has been alleged, because I think it's wild. And I think we've seen elements of truths popping up here and there. So I hope there's going to be action there on that front, right? Two, there are certain allegations that have also been made, like, for instance, the judiciary. I want to see the evidence that General Mkhwanazi has that the judiciary is somehow involved. Because I do think that if that is the case, then we're in trouble as a country. And that's not something we should be taking lightly. Whoever judge, magistrate, justice is going to be spoken about at that inquiry must be taken to the JSC as a matter of urgency. So I'm looking forward to him revealing that evidence to that inquiry. Number three, I want to see these journalists, because clearly there are journalists that are receiving monies from drug, cartels. that must also be exposed at this inquiry, because whichever journalist is doing that needs to be exposed. I hope we're not going to sit with the situation where some of the allegations that are made are not substantiated at the inquiry. I hope not. I really hope not. Because we've been here before. Remember when Thabo Mbeki, the former president, established a commission of inquiry against Mak Maharaj? Because Mak Maharaj got too excited and went on and said, oh, Bulelani Ngcuka, him and, was it Moshe? They said, Bulelani Ngcuka is a spy. What happened? The former president, Thabo Mbeki, establishes a commission of inquiry. What did that commission of inquiry find? Mak Maharaj didn't have any evidence of that. Didn't have any evidence. It was just an allegation he made. Because why? We live in a country where people we love the most can just make allegations about people and we go with it without questioning it. The Commission of Inquiry concluded its work. I had Mak Maharaj on this show and I asked him, would you apologize to Bulelani Ngcuka? And he said, yeah, maybe we should, organize. He asked me, actually, Mak Maharaj asked me to organize a meeting with Bulelani Ngcuka, and I went to Bulelani Ngcuka and I said, hey, because I've also had Bulelani Ngcuka on the show. I interviewed him about his book. And I said, hey, Mak wants to apologize. He wants to make things right. Can we organize coffee? I still want to do that because I think that would be a nice ending to the story where Mak Maharaj is going to say, ish, askis, hade, brayak. And Bulelani can say, it's okay, it's done, let's move on. All I'm saying is we must take seriously what Mkhwanazi says. And I think there are many things he said that are somehow evidenced through the recent events. And we are eternally grateful to him for revealing that to us. But please, let's not think that because people have done things that we are so grateful for, then we somehow fail to question any other thing they do. You can still love Mkhwanazi and find some problematic. You can still like me and still find some problematic things about me. I can still like Cyril Ramaphosa or Julius Malema and still think, man, here they did something wrong. It doesn't mean you hate them. It's 13 minutes after 10.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702.
All right, so we started something a couple of weeks ago. It's something we do every year. In fact, I want us to do it more often. And I hope before the end of the year, we can bring these mayors back on the show. So what we do is, we've done this last year as well, we bring in mayors of different metros in and around Gauteng to come and engage with you as a citizen of their metro. So today we're talking to the mayor of Emfuleni local municipality, Sipho Radebe. This is part of just the check-in that we're doing with several mayors. Remember, we had the mayor of Ekurhuleni, then we brought in the mayor of Tshwane. Last week we had the mayor of Johannesburg in studio. Today we've got the mayor of Emfuleni. And for me, this is just an opportunity for you to raise with your mayors issues and concerns that you have in your metros. They can also update you on the service delivery programs that they're working on. And you know about Emfuleni local municipality. It's infamous for service delivery failures, from the ongoing sewer spillages, the collapsed waste management systems, financial mismanagement, collapsing infrastructure, failed service delivery, you name it. In fact, the finance minister, Enoch Kotongwana, blamed Emfuleni and named it among the 39 municipalities at risk of losing national funding due to persistent non-payment of statutory obligations and adopting unfunded budgets. So we've got the mayor of Ekurhuleni joining us on the mayor of Emfuleni joining us on the line. But remember, you can call us as well if you've got questions about what's happening in and around Emfuleni, concerns you have, an update you want. 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. So help me welcome Sipho Radebe, who's the executive mayor of Emfuleni local municipality. Mr. Radebe, thank you so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Greetings to you. Greetings to the listeners of 702. And I'm also told that there are also viewers on different platforms. Greetings to everyone.
Yes, we've got viewers on YouTube as well. People are watching us on the 702 YouTube page. And if you've got your comments there, please feel free to put them up on YouTube. If you've got questions or comments, I'll get the mayor to respond to them. Mayor, I want to start off with the issue around access to your offices. Have you now been able to access your offices? Because I think last week there were issues around the municipality being locked out of its offices because you're owing the landlord about 2.6 million rand in unpaid rent. What's the situation right now, and what impact has this lockout of your municipal headquarters had on operations and the public access to the essential services?
Thank you, Clement. Clement, I think it is important to start from where to say that as a municipality, we have an array of offices. There are main building offices and other offices of various departments around the town, in Vanderbijl, in Vereeniging, in Sebokeng, and in Everton. So the offices that you were referring to are some of the offices that we are leasing as a municipality, which is only in around Vanderbijl. So most of our offices were running, except one office that was locked last week. But as I speak to you now, the office has been opened and the work and the business is continuing as normal as it is supposed to happen.
Why was that office locked out and you didn't have access to it? That specific one, what happened?
Yes, no, the account of the municipality was attached last week, I think the past 3 or 4 weeks, by Rainwater, and we couldn't get access to the account, so we couldn't transact. And as a result of that, we were unable to pay the landlord. And because of that, then they decided to say that we are owing them as a municipality, and then they closed that. But immediately, the processes that were happening, we were still on engagement with Rainwater. Hence, the offices were closed for about 2 days. And immediately thereafter, they were opened. So the business is continuing, the work is happening. It was a question that we couldn't have access to the account, not on the narrative that is said that the municipality does not have money to pay there. It was just that we were not unable to get access to our account. That was the reason.
So the finance minister, Enoch Kotongwana, identified your municipality as one of those that have persistently failed to pay water boards and other parties, whether it's pension funds, medical aid, SARS, the Auditor General, and you continue to adopt unfunded budgets. How did the municipality reach this point, and what steps are being taken to resolve this financial collapse?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Clement. I think maybe one of the things that we must also then be in a position to mention is that in terms of MFMA, the municipalities, yes, they do need to adopt a funded budget. But in an instant that they fail, there's a process plan, which is also attributed in the legislation, that if you haven't adopted it, you consider the process plan. And one of the reasons that the municipality was or has been unable to adopt the funded budget, it is because of the two most creditors that the municipality is facing. One, it is Eskom, and the other one, it is Rainwater. I think you might be knowing that the municipality for now, over some time, has been owing Rainwater around 1.7 billion and Eskom around 3.5 billion. So because of that, we are unable to be in a position to adopt the funded budget. And the reason being that the municipality where we are, Clement, it's sitting at 56% of unemployment. And remember that these has been the areas that have been challenged by poverty. And so because of that, we are also unable to collect from the revenue, from the tax, and we are unable to collect from the people to say that they needed to pay for their services because of the challenges that we are seeing. So we believe strongly, as part of the way forward, We are now in a process of dealing with these two aspects. One, rainwater, that the municipality is entering into a special purpose vehicle, which is an agreement that the municipality and rainwater, they will form a utility company whereby they will be in a position to deal with water and sanitation issues. Secondly, with the ESCOM one, the municipality has entered into a distribution agency agreement with ESCOM, which came as a result of the High Court decision or ruling. So because of these two, yes, we can say that once we are in a position to tackle them, we are hopeful that by next year, this municipality definitely will be in a position to adopt a funded budget, because those were the two main elephants that has been problematic into the municipality.
But does legislation allow for you to adopt an unfunded budget?
With an understanding, Clement, with an understanding that if yes, you did adopt such a budget, but you needed to have a process plan in order to mitigate against these issues. So when the municipality adopted that budget, it also adopted with the process plan towards resolving this as we move forward.
Okay, so we are not going to be in a situation where you're going to be adopting more unfunded budgets because you've come up with a process to resolve that.
It is a desire of my heart, Clement. And also I spoke with MM for quite a long time to say, MM, what is your thinking about this? Definitely, for sure, right now, the municipality is working with COGTA, the municipality is working with SALGA. And then one of the things that we are looking at, it is OPCA, whereby we say it's Operation Clean Audit, that we have also started the processes of dealing with that. And when you look at the audits that are coming from the Auditor General, definitely can tell you that even though the municipality is stagnant in terms of these audit findings, but definitely there is a lot of improvement that, in some of the findings, we have managed to resolve them. And I can tell you that this year, Clement, our municipality was one of the municipalities that received an award on around the UIFW, which is a strong improvement to say that the municipality is correcting some of the things, though it might not happen overnight, but definitely this is one way that we are working towards.
So a lot of people who live in and around Emfuleni want you to also work towards fixing service delivery. I mean, Action SA and the DA have even called for urgent national intervention. They're citing sewer spills, their water losses, uncollected refuse. How do you respond to these growing calls for the municipality to be placed under administration? Because, I mean, on the YouTube page now, I see people are like, hi, Clement, Emfuleni has just been closed because we are not surviving at all. So people are complaining and, have been complaining about the issue of service delivery for a while now.
It is true, Clement, and really as a municipality, we are also challenged by these issues, and they are also troubling us. We are not happy. We cannot take delight on the matter of not providing services. But however, Clement, there is something that I just want to take you, and I think some of the listeners might have an appreciation of that the municipality around 2018 was placed under administration. And, in that 3 years, it has seen that the municipality was unable on the number of factors that, in fact, it declined even on services. And hence that when this administration that I'm leading came in 2021, it was in 2022 when COGTA then decided to give the municipality a chance because it is now under administration. Whereby one of the things that was said was that the reason that we were unable, or maybe certain things were not happening, it was because of the lack of political oversight and the political coordination. But there was an improvement. There is an improvement in this regard right now. Hence, we are now out of administration. When we look at the matter of sewer, that some of our residents are speaking to. When this administration came in 2021, in 2022, I think around February, we went to our Sebokeng wastewater treatment plant, where when we arrived, we found that there was only one module that was working. And, for a long time, it has not been serviced, these others. But as I speak to you, there are about 3 modules that are working. And that says that the flow of sewer that is entering a treatment plant has reduced, has in fact significantly increased. And because it has increased, therefore it is saying that some of the sewers that are still happening around, it could be some of the collapsed pipes, and which, under Section 63 administration, the municipality, we did manage to deal with some of those, including the pump stations that were not working, which were spilling water into our river. As I speak to you right now, I can tell you that there is no longer sewer that is spilling into the river. And that shows that most of the sewer that is running, it is now been in a position to get into the system where it is, except in the certain areas where we are still challenged. But yes, as I spoke about the SPV, that's where we are saying that this is our last hope in order to restore service delivery to the people of Emfuleni.
But as things
on the matters of waste,
as things stands now, Mayor, out of 10, how do you rate the improvement in service delivery? Because what you're saying about the improvements is different to the messages that I'm getting about people that are still complaining about whether it's sewer, whether it's waste. Just generally, service delivery is at its lowest. That's the impression I'm getting. So are you saying that there's been an improvement? We're now sitting at what? Are we sitting at 5 out of 10? Are we sitting at 8 out of 10? How do you rate the improvement now in service delivery?
Yes. No, if I were to, in each category, like on waste, as I said that when we came in, it was only one module that was working. And right now we have about 3 modules that are working, and we have about, in 44 pump stations, about 36 of them are working properly. And then that can tell you that in terms of sewer, I can say that because we started at very low at 1, and I don't want to exaggerate this, I can say that we are now sitting at 4 in terms of water and sanitation. And then in terms of waste collection, that's where our challenge it is. And therefore, I will also want to be honest on that without taking other things, and to say that we can give ourselves 1, even though that during the month of May, we worked very hard to clean most of the illegal dumps. And then unfortunately, because we still have a challenge of the trucks, and then we had an auction in the municipality. During that auction, the municipality recovered around 68 million, which that money will be ring-fenced into obtaining a new fleet that will be assisting the municipality. So we will see things gradually improving. But yes, we are sitting at 1. In terms of roads where we are, I can give the municipality 2 to 3% of that, which is a sign of showing that there are certain things. And we do acknowledge these challenges. We don't undermine them. We don't want to undermine our people, but we are saying that there is a room towards improvement over these issues that we do have at hand.
So in a nutshell, yes, there is improvement, but there's still a general failure. If on roads you've got 2 out of 10, on water and sanitation you've got 4 out of 10, waste you've got 1 out of 10, that's a general failure at the end of the day.
Clement, for you to improve first, you need to start from the beginning. And the beginning is where we are saying that we do acknowledge these failures and we don't want to hide them. We don't want to lie to our people. We don't want to lie to our masses and the media. But ours it is to accept, to say that this has been happening for over some time. And therefore, the municipality now, we are getting it on track. We are getting it and saying that we do want to improve this. But for us to say that and to be in a position to say that, it is to say, yes, this is where we are starting. And as we continue, I appreciated what you were saying, that you desire that even at any given time, you need to have the mayors to come and speak.
Yeah.
And next time when you speak, I will be telling you a different story to say from those numbers that I gave.
But then I spoke to you, Mayor. I spoke to you 3 years ago. And there was still a general failure. We are still stuck there. I see what you say about improvements that you're seeing, but I mean, if you're getting less than 5 out of 10, there's still a general failure. So for people who are on the ground, who listened to you 3 years ago when I spoke to you, and you had just come in, like it wasn't too long since you had been brought into here to try and fix what's happening in Emfuleni. 3 years later, the people are still complaining about the same things they complained about when I spoke to you.
It is true, Clement, but we must also then be in a position to be considerate, because some of us and most of us, you'll find that where we are looking, we are not looking at one aspect. You know, when running the municipality, you'll be looking at about 5 to 10 services that we need to improve. And, you know, each and everyone will have his own that he's looking or she's looking at. And then some, even though we do make some improvement, will not even come and say that, yes, on this one, I saw that there's an improvement on that. But generally, you know, the people will always say that, no, things are not happening. And we don't even want to blame them, because by so saying, they are exerting pressure to say, you can do better. And we do appreciate when our people says that, you can do better, my executive mayor and your team. But where we are, it is bad. And as I'm saying, we do acknowledge and we do accept that the situation was dire. But as I'm saying confidently that the situation around here, it is improving. And some of the things, some of our people who are on Facebook, you know, Emfuleni is very big on Facebook. They will see the comments that, you know, every time we do something, we post and they respond to that. But we know that because the situation was bad, it will take us some time to get it right. But yes, we are getting there.
All right. Thank you for that response. Sipho Khadebe is the executive mayor of Emfuleni local municipality. I want to hear from you now as someone who lives in and around of Emfuleni. He says there are some improvements. Is that what you're seeing on the ground? It's 10:33. I'm going to come with your calls on 011-883-0702 when I come back. Your WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Sfiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. Mpumalanga police have confirmed the resurfacing of 28 illegal miners at the Sheba gold mine. This is the second group to emerge since the mass arrests of nearly 500 Zamazamas at the mine last Friday. 494 illegal miners appeared in the Barberton Magistrates Court yesterday, with the latest group expected to make their appearances in the coming days. The Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the lack of prosecution of apartheid-era cases is expected to cost the country 45 million rand. The President established the commission in May and it's expected to run for 6 months. Retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Gampepe will chair the hearings. And Hong Kong authorities have cancelled the passports of 12 activists based overseas in their latest crackdown on activists that they claim posed threats to national security. Hong Kong Security Bureau announced the measures yesterday after a court issued arrest warrants last month against the activists and 7 other pro-democracy campaigners over their alleged roles in establishing an unofficial parliament overseas. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Traveling in the Kayasand as well as the Cosmos City area, we've got some delays reported on Malibongo Drive towards Northumberland Avenue. An accident right at that turn off causing those delays. Please be on the lookout and drive with care while traveling in Houghton. Delays along the M1 South approaching Houghton Drive due to an earlier accident. If you're traveling towards Bedfordview, do expect delays on the N12 West between the R24 merge and the Kilulis interchange due to roadworks taking place along this route. There's also slow-moving traffic reported along the M2 West between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight. You said that some people believe that the clinics and hospitals are overcrowded.
I'm on public record that you can't have people that we don't know who they are in our own country, where they come from. We can't document them, and we don't know their activities. That's a major security risk. But if we want to resolve that matter with a piecemeal approach of saying we are closing clinics and hospitals, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't think that we are dealing with the problem. Illegal immigration does not mean people that are coming from Africa alone.
Premier of Gauteng, Manyathela Show.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Don't miss out on the Powerball jackpot estimated at a mind-blowing 124 million rand this Tuesday. Dare to dream big by playing Powerball now for the estimated 124 million rand jackpot and your chance at multi-millions. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusher Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Welcome to Nando's Customer Care. How can I file up your...
Finally, can I actually just speak to the manager? It's about the chicken. Why did you marinate it for 24 hours? 24 hours, 86,400 seconds to marinate. Why? Well, I mean, it is really tender, juicy, and that delicious Nando's peri-peri flavor just warms me up. And then you add any 3 sharing sides, and I guess, well, there is nothing like it. But that is my complaint. I can't complain.
Nando's, fire it up.
Looking for real ways to live greener? Then don't miss the Green Tip of the Week, your weekly dose of sustainable inspiration from eco-entrepreneurs to climate champions. We sit down with the people making real change. Catch Green Tip of the Week every Tuesday on Afternoon Drive with John Pellman, 3 to 6 p.m. only on 702. Proudly brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702. Let's walk the talk.
It's 22 minutes before 11 o'clock. So on the Clement Manyathela Show this hour, we've been having a conversation with Sipho Radebe, who's the executive mayor of Emfuleni local municipality. And this is an opportunity really for you to come and engage with your mayor, right? And as I said, I want to do this more often. We've already had the mayor of Ekurhuleni, the mayor of Tshwane. They came to studio. We had the mayor of Johannesburg last week. Today we've got the mayor of Emfuleni. We'll bring in the Midvaal mayor at some point. But before the rest of the year ends, I want to bring them back because I think we need to start getting into the culture of accountability like that. Right? Mayors need to be accountable to you, and we need to use our platforms to bring them closer to you. That's really the purpose of this conversation. So we've heard what Sipho Radebe, the mayor, has said about the improvements that he says are taking place in Emfuleni. Is that your experience? And what concerns do you have? What questions do you have? 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Mokhetla, let's start with you. You're calling us from the Vaal. Good morning.
Morning, and how are you?
I'm all right. Go ahead.
And with the mayor, morning, Mayor, Mr. Sipho.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, actually, I've listened to the mayor. Number one, there's also an unverified that the offices of all the traffic and license departments have been closed due to non-payment. I said it's unverified. You got it from the social media this morning. Number two, we have been to offices of the mayor requesting meetings as residents from when he started in the office. He has never acknowledged that for him to meet with the communities, structures, and so. He chooses who he meets with. Secondly, earlier around May, we sent the dispute into his office. It has been acknowledged into MM's office. It has been acknowledged in the Speaker's office. To date, they've never responded. They've never called us to come and sit around the table. Now, as he acknowledges the challenges, as they say, because they deny that it's a crisis. What interventions, as a municipality, are they doing since he took over the office?
He mentioned some of them, Mokgweetla. Let's try to be specific.
What he says, the DAA, all those are interventions from provincial, ESCOM, and whatever. As a municipality, what are they doing?
All right.
He acknowledged that there are things that they are done.
So they are more provincial. I get you.
Yeah, they are more provincial.
Okay, I got you, Mokgweetla. I'll get the mayor to respond to that in a moment. Let's go to Mariah, who is calling us from Rivonia. Mariah, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Clement. Nice to chat to you. Clement, my main issue is just a bit of background. I was raised in Thunderbale Park in Emfuleni. My mum lived there until the end of this year, where she's now moved in with me. The issue I have, I've been paying up until now the rates and taxes.
Yeah.
And what really concerns me is that the mayor acknowledges that they are not delivering certain services, and in this case, I refer specifically to refuse removal. When I visited my mom, when she was living there, I used to visit her every Sunday. I used to bring her rubbish back here to dispose of, here meaning in Joburg.
Wow.
To dispose of. And yet, they still charge. I still have to pay for that delivery when they acknowledge they're not doing that. That's robbery. That is completely unacceptable. Until they get their house in order with everything, they shouldn't be charging residents.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Maria,
Yeah,
I think you make a fair point. I mean, the mayor, to his admission, he says waste collection, he gives it the municipality 1 out of 10. So if there's general failure, why must you continue to then start paying, Maria, for services you're not receiving?
Where's that money going?
Yeah, let's get the mayor to respond to that. Mr. Khadebe, so Mariah is complaining about paying rates and taxes, and yet, for instance, refuse removal. She used to take her mom's refuse from Thunderbale Park and bring it to Rivonia. I mean, you're paying for services you're not receiving. Is that fair? And Mokgweetla is asking about your own interventions as the Emfuleni municipality. He says what you've mentioned are more provincial interventions. So what are you doing as the Emfuleni municipality?
Thank you very much, Clement. Clement, let me just hasten to verify or rectify this. The intervention with ESCOM, as I indicated, that it is an intervention that came through the processes of court, because the municipality and ESCOM were taking each other to court. And that's where that we were saying that at some point there were certain things that were happening in terms of how the ESCOM was treating the municipality. And that, as a result, it came as a court ruling to say this is what the ESCOM must do to the municipality so that they find amicable and improve the services. And the intervention with Rainwater, it is an intervention that was initiated by the municipality. But when Rainwater came in at first, it was through this intervention, the Section 63 intervention by the Department of Water and Sanitation at a national level. But upon finding that, we really need to sustain this, then the municipality then said to Rainwater, if both of us can find amicable way of dealing with this, because if the municipality is not making business out of the water business, therefore it is not making sense. And even Rainwater itself is going to lose. Hence, we saw both of us to say, let us enter into this perspective. Let us agree to work together in order to resolve this. But on other things that, as I said, that we did an auction this year And we said that part of the money that we took, that we raised from that auction, it's a money that will be ring-fenced back to fleet, meaning that with the money that we have accumulated, we'll be in a position to buy extra vehicles, we'll be in a position to provide certain services that we see of great need into the municipality. So these are some of the things that we want to do. One of the findings of the Auditor General was that the municipality has been undercharging on the issue of waste removal. Hence, as a municipality, we couldn't get it right because the money that the residents were paying into the municipality, it was a little bit low. Hence, that there was a need that the Auditor General said that we needed to adjust the rate of e-waste removal. And with that, as we are saying that once we improve the state of taking water and of taking e-waste in our townships, in our towns, it will then improve. One of the things, as I was speaking with the manager of e-waste, was saying to me that, Majoro, maybe we needed to start having the meetings whereby we'll engage the communities about that. But I said, well, let's start from within.
Okay.
Let's improve on that so that we don't have a meeting that we need to go and explain, but we must start doing it right now.
Yeah, but Mayor, until you get your house in order, until you get your house in order, though, is it fair for me to continue paying for services I don't receive? That's what Mariah is complaining about. So I get what you're saying. You're trying your best to try and get things right. But in the meantime, in this tough economy, there are people paying so that waste can be removed from their homes. That is not happening. So what am I paying for?
Clement, the matter of e-waste, to say it's not happening, it might be an exaggeration, but I can tell you that 5 of our trucks that were with service providers, they were collected back into the municipality. And right now, I can tell you that these trucks, on daily basis, they are roaming around the streets of our townships, the streets of our towns. But what we needed to do, it is to improve the services. That as we have 5 trucks, we needed to bring extra trucks.
Yeah.
That I'm saying that.
You said you give yourself 1 out of 10 for waste collection, Mayor. That's what you said before we went to the break.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you then want to suggest that I'm exaggerating when I say that there are people out there who are paying for services they're not receiving in as far as waste collection is concerned? You have given yourself 1 out of 10. So there are people out there who are constantly paying for this and they're not getting the service. Otherwise, if everybody was, you would actually be at 10 out of 10 or at the very least 9 out of 10.
You are quite correct, Clement, and I'm not disputing that. Hence, I'm saying to you that, yes, the beginning of this month, we managed to commission back 5 trucks back into the system of waste collection. And that on itself, it is an improvement, even though it is not at a high alarming rate. But yes, I can tell you that, yes, it is happening. We do see the trucks going around our streets. But we are saying that is not enough, and it is far from being enough. But if we get other trucks and then we bring them back into the system, or we put in new trucks, we can tell that when we speak again, I will be in a position to say that from that one, there is +4 or there is +3, which is an improvement that we also ourselves, we don't want to undermine and exaggerate onto that.
All right. Bongani Tebogo George, I see you, because Mayor, just a second. I want to take a quick ad break, then I'll give you a response to finish your point. Bongani Tebogo George, I'll start with your calls as well after the break.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
I'll be interested to hear what SAICA has to say on this for those auditors who are working for the government in municipalities, in the public sector. A chilling effect. I mean, I've spoken at a number of fraud conferences and auditing conferences about this particular issue, and it's terrifying. And particularly the fact that people are just not being held accountable, are not being arrested, and are getting away with this.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
Celebrate Women's Day in style with exclusive platinum or golden standing tickets to see Grammy Award-winning singers Anthony Hamilton and Joe Thomas. Enjoy complimentary seating, dedicated bar areas and restrooms, and the freedom to bring your own picnic blankets for a relaxed, unforgettable experience. Happening at the iconic DP World Wanderers Stadium in Sandton. They will be joined by South Africa's multi-award-winning singers, the incomparable Zonkes, Java and Vusi Nova. Get your tickets now on CompuTicket or webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Soulful Night, Vetex Events and 702.
Diabetes has become the leading cause of deaths in South Africa. Every hour, at least 3 people die of diabetes in this country. This means that in a year, we lose more than 30,000 people to this dreaded disease. This is a silent pandemic which requires active participation by all of us. You may be asking, what can I do as an individual? Limit intake of foods and drinks high in sugar and be physically active. Eat right for a better life. Foods high in sugar, fat and salt can lead to obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease and certain cancers. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Health.
In a world where everything is instant, some things are worth slowing down for. You took the time to build a life of distinction. Every moment, every milestone, every decision. At Indwe, we take the time to understand your world and craft insurance solutions to protect it. Because true peace of mind is the greatest luxury of all. The right insurance starts with a conversation. It starts with helloindwe.co.za. Indwe Risk Services is an authorized financial services provider.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes before 11 o'clock. George, you calling us from Vereeniging. What's your question for the mayor? Good morning.
Morning, Clement. How are you?
Sure. Quickly.
Good. My question is that the mayor says about the refuse and the roads. You know, in Three Rivers, we've got a group called Proudly Three Rivers that all of us residents contribute to privately. It's got nothing to do with Emfuleni, that they're fixing all the roads. Then, personally, we all have to pay a different guy to come and collect our refuse every week. But every month, we still get billed on the refuse removal, and our water bills are ridiculous. They don't even take the water readings. I mean, that's all just interim readings that we get billed on every month. So my question is, where are these improvements that the mayor is speaking about?
Okay, George in Vereeniging. Thank you. Bongani, you are also in Vereeniging. Go ahead.
Good morning, Clement, to you and the mayor.
Sure.
I think it's similar to what George was raising now, in that I've put my property in Vereeniging on the market, and when the conveyancers were getting the clearance fees from the municipality, it seems to have doubled because of that interim billing. It turns out the last time they did the meter reading on this particular property was in January of 2024. So that is quite unfortunate in terms of how they do things. I mean, imagine back billing from January 2024 to July 2025.
Yeah, so terrible billing system there. Okay, George and Bongani, I'll get the mayor to respond to that. Tebogo, you're in Vanderbijlpark. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and the mayor as well.
Sure.
Clement, 2 things, my brother. I'm one of the business people that are struggling to get a rezoning certificate from the municipality. The system, the red tape is so much that nobody, even in the land use, actually knows what to do. I can make an example. In Bophelong, some of the guys that I know took out the foreign nationals and they are now owning this tech shop. But however, remember, those guys had already modified those houses at the time. Now the municipality is asking people, yes, they need to comply, they need to have rezoning, they need to have certificates of acceptability. But the municipality is not helping and it's asking a lot of money from those people. I want to ask the mayor. What is going to do with it? Because that will cap also, because remember, once those people can be able to run businesses, the municipality will generate revenue. But now the municipality is not helping, and even with these spaza shops funding, that is, people cannot, be able to get access to that because they don't have the right documentation.
Got it. Tabogo and van der Welbach, thank you. Mayor, George and Bongani are talking about the billing system. What are you doing about that? Tabogo talks about the red tape on spaza shop owners. You can go ahead. You can also start with the point you wanted to make earlier on when I went to break.
All right. No, thank you very much, Clement, once again, and appreciating the questions also asked. And just to save time for both of us, let me just quickly respond to these questions that have been posed. One on the matter of billing. And we do understand that at some points, because we're using conventional meters, and some of them, there's no access to those meters. And therefore, the legislation in such regards will also then give you or permit you to look at estimations. But what we're finding it difficult for us to continue with, hence we are now coming up with a plan of putting in the prepaid meters, which was a process that has been started by the municipality that we want to go on prepaid. We know once we are on prepaid, then it will be in a position to deal with both the disputes on billing and on estimates, and which was also one of the findings that the Auditor General realized. And both on electricity and water. Mm-hmm. And on the matter of the spaza shops, the rezoning has its processes. Unfortunately, we cannot discuss them and conclude on them now. But I know that the MMC Mbuyiselo Council has been on the drive on different townships and areas, whereby invite people that have interest in whatever businesses, especially in the townships, so as to apply and assist the process of rezoning. Yes, we do understand that the compliance is a bit difficult. And remember that some of these compliance are the compliances that even the provincial and the national government were imposing on, to say there are certain things that must not happen, no matter whether you are in Sebokeng, you are in Everton or Tembisa or Kronstadt. So we are also forming part of that. But I know that there are processes that have been undertaken, whereby communities are engaged on this matter of rezoning and zoning. And some it could be around the spaza shops, some it could be on other businesses. But yes, we do note that. Hence, it is important for us to even invite investors that needs to come in to say, we want to speed up the processes of assisting everyone and so that it be an easy thing, but a necessary one in the municipality to have your business, because it will contribute immensely and positively towards the economy of the region. So those are some of the things that have been considered and that we are also working on them. Clement.
All right. Yeah. So let me do this, Mayor, if you don't mind. I just have 3 more questions from the listeners that I wanna give them the opportunity to ask, and then we'll let you go. We'll do that just after the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. It's 2 minutes now before 11.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
South Africa is scrambling now to find alternative measures and markets following the failure of negotiations on those tariffs imposed by US President. But how do you deal with a capricious interlocutor like Donald Trump?
What's important to recognize is they are a very big market and an important market for us. And we probably need to concretely address 1 or 2 of the policy issues.
Seems to me we've given them a lot of information they just don't want to hear. Dr. Stavros Nicolaou.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Is your business insured with experts in your field? Well, Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for dental, physiotherapy, surgical, and other medical specialties. That's why over 100,000 businesses across various industries trust business outsurance. Switch to business outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurance FSP. T's and C's and information online.
My family's struggling with snotty noses and phlegmy coughs.
Oh no! Have you tried ACC?
ACC 600 is a convenient one-a-day effervescent tablet from 14 years of age. Or now also in a no water needed fruity flavored sherbet-like granules that dissolve in your mouth. Ideal for the on-the-go adult. Ask for ACC 600 effervescent or oral powder at your nearest pharmacy to get rid of the snotties and flemmings. And trust, if it doesn't say ACC, it's not ACC.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. New fuel prices are set to come into effect from tomorrow. The Energy Department says both grades of petrol will decrease by 28 cents per litre. Department spokesperson Robert Makya says diesel will go up by 63 and 65 cents per litre respectively.
Illuminating paraffin at retail level will increase by 43 cents a litre, and LP gas will decrease by 69 cents per kilogram and by 78 cents per kilogram in the Western Cape. The reasons are as follows. The slightly lower price of oil on average during the period under review, and the rand strengthened slightly against the US dollar and cushioned the prices by 4 to 5 cents per litre.
Mpumalanga police have confirmed the resurfacing of 28 illegal miners at the Sheba gold mine. This is the second group to emerge since the mass arrests of nearly 500 Zamazamas at the mine last Friday. 494 illegal miners appeared in the Barberton Magistrates Court yesterday, with the latest group expected to make their appearance in the coming days. Mongezi Koko reports.
Police say their large-scale operation Valumgodi aimed at cracking down on illegal mining may be over, but arrests continue. The latest group of 28 followed yesterday's 24, all of whom spent the weekend underground. Provincial police say they ventured deeper into unsafe shafts to evade arrest, but were met by private security as soon as they surfaced and were handed over to the SAPS. It remains unclear how many others may still be underground. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News, Barberton.
The 5 men accused of stealing a transformer worth 7 million rand are returning to the Atteridgeville Magistrates Court this morning. One of them, arrested last year in November, will have his matter joined with the other 4 other suspects. Previously, only the 4 suspects have been appearing in court as a collective, without the 5th man appearing. Jabulile Mbata reports.
The transformer in question was stolen last year in November from the Lodium substation when the first suspect arrested was later released on bail. In July this year, 3 more suspects who are Tshwane municipal workers were arrested for their involvement in the case. Then later, a 5th suspect known as the buyer was arrested. Of the 5 men, only the potential buyer was denied bail because of a previous conviction. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, Atteridgeville Magistrates Court in Pretoria.
The Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the lack of prosecution of apartheid-era cases is expected to cost the country 45 million rand. The President established the commission in May and it's expected to run for 6 months. Retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Kampepe will chair the hearings. Khomotso Modisa reports.
South Africa is already going to fork out almost 148 million rand for the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi over 6 months. But the Justice Department will also have to foot the bill for the Gampepe Judicial Commission of Inquiry, which will investigate whether attempts were made to prevent investigation and prosecution of apartheid-era crimes. Spokesperson Terence Manasseh.
The Gampepe Commission is estimated to cost 45 million over 6 months, covering staffing, consultants, services, and operational needs.
While the work of the commission started on Friday, a call for submissions is only expected to be made in the next 10 to 14 days. Manasseh says Justice Minister Mamuluku Kubai is developing a standard operating procedure to improve consistency and cost efficiency in future commissions. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,372.33 an ounce. The rand is at 17.93 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, 20.72 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.66 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Kilulis Interchange. Roadworks are taking place there and causing those delays. Please be on the lookout when driving around this area. And if you're traveling towards Amalgam, expect delays on the M2 West between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: new fuel prices are set to come into effect from tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Tell us what we need to know.
702 listens.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. So we've asked the mayor of Emfuleni, Sipho Khadebo, to stay with us just to take 3 more questions from our listeners. So let's go straight to the questions and I'll get the mayor to respond and then I'll release him and then we'll invite him again probably in about 4 months' time or before the year ends, just to account and to give us some updates on where the improvements are.
Good morning, Clement and 702 listeners. Clement asked the mayor about all the landfill sites, which are now in all corners in Vanderbijl. You go to Vanderbijl next to VUT, there's a small site where people are littering there. In Sharpeville, behind the old graveyard, there are people who are littering there. What is he doing about it? I mean, it's Vanderbijl is filthy, Clement. It's filthy. Thank you. Joseph in Sharpeville.
Morning, Mr. Clement. How are you? I hope you are doing good, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Mr. Clement, can you please kindly ask the mayor, when are they planning to insource securities? Because now they've been promising forever and we are suffering as security officers here in Emfuleni because now there's non-payments. they are deducting provident funds, they are not sending it to the scheme. We are suffering from these contractors, and our municipality is not doing anything to intervene. So can they please tell us when are they doing it? Because the surroundings municipality, they did it. So please, can he please explain to us when?
Hi guys, this is Bonolo Madonna and I live in the Vulture Angle. Nothing is getting better. Nothing is getting better. Even the grass cutting, nothing. Oh, you'll find yourself driving along the road and there'll be water leaks going on for close to 3 months unattended. Like, what is going on?
Hi Clement, this is Tulu from the Val in Unitas Park, Ward 45. Honestly speaking, I just feel like the mayor, he's all talk and no action. The only thing that has been improved for me that I've seen, it's the potholes in when you go to Sibuye and the place is called Group 7. That is the only improvement that we have seen. Other than that, honestly speaking, in terms of waste collection, every week they are telling us a story. Now we have to make means to make sure that our wastes are being collected, and we pay extra whilst we still pay the municipality, but we're not getting those services. Our potholes are the most horrible potholes that I've ever seen, and we live in the suburbs, but the way it's so bad, I don't understand why. And at the same time, here in Midval, they have perfect service delivery. Why is it that they have it and we don't? Honestly speaking, I feel like just the mayor is just rambling around.
All right, thank you so much for your questions. Yeah, Mayor, if you can respond to, there was a question about the landfill sites. What are you doing about that? A question about the insourcing of security officers, and of course, also a question about potholes. How is the municipality responding to these?
Thank you, Clement. Some I might not have heard them because maybe I was out of, but I remain logged in. By the time you put me on the line, it was only that I could listen to the last speaker.
No problem.
But I will try on the questions that you raised. One, on the landfill site. We are having one landfill site which is working, which is a Palm Springs one. And the second one where we are waiting for a license from the GTART, it is around the Akane landfill site. And once we get that license, we'll be in a position to have 2 landfill sites that are running. But currently, as we started working on the matter of e-waste collection, we managed to open up a transfer station in Zone 7. Whereby I think some of the people around the community, they saw we've been updating them about it, cleaning it and what. So we are now waiting to officially open it because we know that once that transfer station works, then it will be in a position to reduce the waste and the illegal dumps that are everywhere. It is around Zone 7 at a place called Tabing. So on that one, yes, we will be working on it. On the matter of potholes, look, Clement, as I said, when we started, we said we acknowledge the challenges that the municipality is having. And I even continue to say that it cannot be done over a period of month or what. When you look at Emfuleni is one of the biggest areas around in here. And when we speak of some of these roads that we are working on, some are in the townships, some are in the towns. So we needed to try to strike a balance in between. And hence you'll find that we cannot be everywhere. We cannot be anywhere, because we are still challenged. And then, as I said, that we are in the process of procuring a fleet. And part of the fleet that will also be procuring, it is the fleet that will also be assisting us about road patching. We want to also buy a road patcher from our side so that we know that it is in a position to assist with this. So some of these, yes, some of them, they might be fixed within this administration with this financial year, but others might still overlap to other financial years.
Okay.
But there is a commitment to the Emfuleni people that we do want to deal with these matters.
All right. Sipho Khadebe.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
go ahead.
I was saying that I'm not sure if there is any that I missed, maybe. Or on the issue of insourcing.
Yes,
Yeah,
insourcing.
on the issue of insourcing of security, what we are doing, we started engaging on cost benefit analysis, and hence we started with the vehicles, because this was the first thing that we said, well, we cannot do everything, but let us start with the vehicles. We used to buy a lot of vehicles, and after some time, it becomes difficult for us to sustain them. But we said that looking at the cost benefit analysis, we said that if we now lease the vehicles or the cars, at least it will give us a good mileage for us to move forward. And hence all other services will also thrive in this one of a security. I know that many a times, whenever we do have meetings, it will always be raised. But it is the matter of priorities right now.
Okay.
We have started prioritizing the leasing of vehicles, and then it will follow even that one.
Okay. Sipho Khadebe, the executive mayor of Emfuleni local municipality, I really appreciate you making time for us. We'll chat to you in a couple of months' time. Thank you for your time. It's 15 minutes now after 11 o'clock, and time to get straight into our World of Work feature.
702.
World of Work.
Have you ever received an offer, but you didn't really want to take it, and you were hoping that your company gives a counter offer and they beat that offer that you have gotten to get you to stay? We're discussing how to negotiate counter offers, because receiving a job offer is always an exciting milestone, right? But then what happens when the offer doesn't quite meet your expectations? Or maybe you're not ready to leave the company, right? Whether it's the salary, the benefits, or the working conditions, it's perfectly acceptable to enter a respectful negotiation. That's where a counter offer comes in. With the right approach, if you've done your research, you're confident enough, as a job seeker, you can negotiate the terms that better reflect their skills and the value without really burning the bridges. I mean, some people just receive an offer and then they take it to their managers and say, hey, this is the offer I've got, because you're trying to threaten them that you leave. And then they're like, okay, good luck. But actually, you didn't really want that job. So you've got to be very strategic about how you negotiate counter offers. Boniwe Dancer is an HR specialist who's going to guide us through how we can do that. Boniwe, welcome back to the show. Good morning.
Thank you, Clement, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, and I want to hear from you as well. If you've ever had to negotiate a counter offer, how did that turn out for you? How did you navigate that? Or maybe you can share with us what mistakes you've made around offers and counter offers. You can call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Boniwe, let's start with just maybe for context. What exactly is a counter offer in the context of employment?
Sure. So a counter offer is an offer that one often receives from their employer, and this happens at the time when they resign or they communicate their intention to resign. The intention of the employer in this instance is to get the employee to reverse their decision or change their mind about leaving, right? So in that instance, the employer would request probably to see the offer that you're talking about, and they would actually want to match that or probably give you over and above what you are receiving so that they can retain you as talent within the organization. It's purely the employer saying, I can give you better than what you are moving for. And that's when they start getting into negotiating in terms of what does it mean around my role, around the money, around the scope and the complexity of my job. So sometimes it's not only a counter offer from a financial point of view, but it could be because of a promotion or, a learning opportunity that they might have overlooked you for. And those are some of the things that goes into counter offers. But the intention is to retain the employee within the organization and that they don't leave.
Okay. So what's the first step then to do? So if I receive an offer, but it doesn't really meet my expectations, what is the best thing to do? Do I respond right away? And I do think sometimes, Boniwe, it's not so much that the offer doesn't meet your expectation. Maybe the offer ticks the boxes, but you're just not sure that this is the right time to leave this place now. So what's the best way to respond when you receive an offer that may be tempting?
I think what's important is for one to actually get to review the offer in totality, right? Including benefits and just not from a numbers perspective. Because often what we do when we look at an offer, we look what is my total cost to company and then what is it that I'm going to net at the end of the day, because the intention is for us to move for better financial rewards. So if it's the total cost to company, you also get to look at their benefits, their leave days, their flexible working hours and all of that. And also, you need to ask yourself, with this offer compared to where I am right now, does it respond to my career goals or my career aspirations, right? Because there's more to one resigning from one company to the other rather than just money, but it could be because you have been looking for opportunities to get promoted or being in an environment that is actually much bigger, that is a multinational company that provides you more scope within the skills that you have. So you need to look at those things in totality and not just at the money. And also, when you're asking the question around, does it meet your expectations, then the question becomes, what are your career goals and aspirations in the short to medium term? Because long term can sometimes just, be a facade. Then you're saying, does it give me the complexity that I want? Does it move me closer to getting to management level or to executive level? Or does it move it closer to me working in a multinational company that will actually grant me opportunities to move from one country to the other as part of talent mobility? So you need to answer that in totality, because you can have the money, but if you're frustrated and the new opportunity does not address your career aspirations, then that offer also doesn't serve a purpose, because you'll get into that space. Within 3 to 6 months, you are bored looking for something else because you did not cater for your own, personal satisfaction in terms of your career, but only looking at the financial benefits.
Okay, but sometimes you do want more time to negotiate that counter offer. So what do you tell the company that's given you an offer? Because they're not naive. They probably know that you are delaying in signing because you're probably still trying to negotiate a counter offer. And for some reasons, companies hate it when you do that, when they make you an offer and you're busy negotiating a counter offer. So what reasons then do you give to that company that's made you an offer?
I think, Clement, in all fairness, which is what we need to practice, and I also need to practice where I am, we also need to be fair to candidates. We often make a mistake, or maybe because of pressure of giving candidates offers maybe on the 30th or on the 31st, right, for them to make a decision. And under those circumstances, they are rushed. They don't have enough time to actually, engage with the offer and for them to engage whoever that they trust, to help them make an informed, decision. So in all fairness, we need to provide people with at least a week, at bare minimum 3 days for them to consider. But if you're in that process, you can just say, I'm still busy going through the offer. I'm actually consulting, with my advisors or with my labor consultant to make sure that the terms and conditions of this offer is valid. Can you please allow me 2 days or 3 days? By when is the latest that I can actually then revert to you? And also, it's fair because in all honesty, you get an offer. In certain instances, some companies have offers that are 18 pages, right? And we know that we skim to certain headings, that are more important or beneficial to us. But in certain instances, you want somebody to read that contract with you to make sure that you really understand. Companies also use different terminologies, and some companies are local, some are international, and therefore we need to actually then consider that. But we know that you're also buying time for you. Maybe you're also waiting for other offers as well, because that's what happens. You find that somebody has been aggressive in the market in terms of looking for new opportunities, then they would be going, to 3 interviews all at the same time. And sometimes you just want to buy yourself enough time so that the second or third employer might come back to you with something positive, especially if you have been through maybe the interviews, the assessments, the psychometrics, and background checks. So that all yields to a positive direction. But in all fairness, 3 to 5 days is actually fair for somebody to, to review their offer and just say that I'm looking at it, I'm trying to weigh my options, and please allow me time. And then if they don't, I often say it's actually unfair, where we have taken so much time to get back to you, but we can't allow you 2 or 3 days to take time to make a decision.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to some WhatsApps on 072 702 1702. Your calls on 011 883 0702.
Hey, morning, Clement. Now, when you have been nagging your employer to give you an increase for a while, and then you look for a job, and then the job gives you a higher paying salary, and then that's when your current employer wants to give you an increase, I don't suggest you take it because they could have done that a long time ago. So on their part, it's just yeah, so professional in some way, yeah. Because they could have given you an increase a long time ago, you'd not have looked for another job and so on and so on. So if they're going to counter do it, that means yeah, they don't see the value in you that much, yeah. Cooks from Devlet.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this argument before, Boniwe, that yeah, but if the company really cared about you, they would have voluntarily given you, all these benefits that you've always wanted, as opposed to wait for another company to poach you or to see your value. Should we be that emotional like that with these negotiations?
Not entirely, Clement, right? And I'm saying that because in certain instances, as an employee, you also don't get to advocate for your recognition enough. And then you also rely on your manager or your super seniors of positioning your needs for recognition or for progression within the company. So you will actually then communicate that to your, to your line manager. And the question is, like, are they doing a good job or are they not doing a good job in doing that? In certain instances, some organizations, they are so small or they are so behind that they don't have systems and processes in place, to help them, nudge them in the right, direction at the right intervals of having to review, their recognition programs. And recognition can come in a form of a promotion, in terms of ad hoc, or out of cycle increases, or bursaries, and and all of those. So some companies do not have, but if you have worked for multinational companies, you would know that those things are there, and they've got systems where, as an individual, you put your developmental plans in there. You actually indicate, your short-term and your medium-term plans. You actually then have career conversations with your line managers that are also documented on a particular system that helps the company to make decisions. But we're also working for companies that do not have the know-how or those systems as well. You can actually make that decision to say they have overlooked me if you have been communicating, if you have been asking for recognition, or if you've been working so hard and your work is so visible and you're advocating for your work and nobody is actually hearing you. Then at that point you can say, you know what, I've communicated my aspirations, my financial needs. I've requested to be recognized for certain things that I have put in place over the years, and nobody then, has actually took time to understand and to actually address my needs. Then in that instance, you can say, you know what, I don't think I can because I've communicated this to you. And this is what we often term as delayed recognition. People see how good you are at your job, but sometimes we can be so naive as line managers to say, so-and-so will never leave. Where else can they go? And when that opportunity comes, it's a shock. And then when you resign, then they give you that delayed recognition. And because it's been delayed and because you've been nagging for it, you're like, but why now? Because they didn't believe that you could. And therefore, in that instance, you can have that emotional reaction. But unfortunately, it won't be applicable to every situation, depending on the maturity of the HR processes within the organization.
Yeah, sure. So what happens if the employer rejects the counter offer? Should the candidate walk away or you stay? Because I don't know, will they make your life difficult if it's a childish manager or employer,
If you accept the counter offer or if you reject it.
So I'm saying if they say, no, we don't have money to counter offer you, sorry. So if you've said, okay, company B wants me to come work for them, but I want to negotiate a counter offer, they say, yeah, not really, we don't have money for that. And then what do you do? Is it better to just leave or stay if you really want to stay?
Yeah. So for me, I think counter-offer conversations are also better if the employer is initiating them, because then they show their intention and their interest in you as a talent. If as an employee you say, I've got offer from company B, can we negotiate? The employer can easily say, no, unfortunately, I don't have the money. Or maybe, they're also looking to actually getting a new skill. Probably in certain instances, you haven't been the greatest as well. So you can't go and look for an offer and use that as a bait for a counter offer with your current employer, because you don't know what their reaction is going to be. That's the thing, right? So you also need to be willing to say, they might say no, and then I'll still be matured enough to accept that and then move over to company B. Some will say we don't even have the money to match that, or, if we had, we would be paying you that. But because of the performance of our organization, where we are, the size of the organization, we haven't been doing great, and therefore we can't accept counter offers. So I often say to people, don't resign with the intention of getting a counter offer, because it might not come.
Yeah.
And maybe you might be regarded as high talent, as a high performer in the organization. But these things, you're actually as good as yesterday. By the time that you resign, or you communicate your intention to resign, the dynamics of the organization and the structure of the organization might have changed. You might also be reporting to a different manager. You might also be resigning at the point whereby the company is actually tightening, their financial taps, to manage, revenue well, because we know that most companies are, 60% of their operational cost is on headcount and salaries, and they might be trying to reduce that. So don't go there with the intention that you're going to get it, because some you will not get. Some organizations are just happy to say, as a line manager, I support you, I support your progress, I'm happy you have this, I wish you all the best. And it's also okay, you can't force an employer to want to counter offer when they're not in a position to.
True. Okay, here's a tricky one though. Someone is asking, what happens if they ask you to make a verbal commitment on the spot? So the company that's made you an offer calls you on Teams and says, you've got to express whether or not you accept this offer or not right now, because they're trying to avoid that situation where you're going back now to negotiate a counter offer. Is that allowed? And what do we do in that instance?
I don't think people can do that, because we are always allowed to change our mind. You can't hold people ransom. And also, you can even say, yes, I give you my verbal commitment. I can come and say, but I'm not accepting the offer. You're not going to hold me to anything. You're not going to take me through any dispute resolution body to try to hold me to that. Yes. Alternatively, I can say yes, and then I can join. And at the end of my first month, I can resign, because the decision to resign is a unilateral one. And then what happens? So it's just maybe a scare tactic more than anything else, but nothing that really will hold water, in any dispute resolution body or at any, court of law.
All right, got it. Boniwe Dunster, thank you so much always for your insights. She's an HR specialist. It's just after 11:30. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. And Bali, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has elected its chairperson during its first meeting today. The ANC's Soviet Lekhanyane has been appointed to chair the committee. This means the 18-member multi-party committee can begin the process of investigating Mkhwanazi's allegations of corruption in the police as well as the criminal justice system. New fuel prices are set to come into effect from tomorrow. The Energy Department says both grades of petrol will decrease by 28 cents a litre. On the other hand, diesel will be going up by 63 and 65 cents per litre. And Patriotic Alliance Deputy President Kenny Kunene has once again been ordered to apologise to EFF leader Julius Malema for calling him a cockroach. In a decision handed down this morning, the Gauteng High Court dismissed Kunene's appeal of an Equality Court judgment which ruled that his words amounted to hate speech. On the 17th of November in 2021, Kunene called Malema a cockroach 4 times during an interview on ENCA. Those are the headlines, this EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
We've got delays on the N12 West. This is between Edenville Road and the Kilulis interchange, while on the N3 North experiencing some delays as well approaching the Kilulis interchange. That's due to roadworks taking place along that route. If you're traveling towards Amalgam, do expect some delays on the M2 West between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. In the city of Tshwane, we've got a slight backup reported on the R80 East Mabopane Highway approaching Eskiam Pahlele exit. Please be on the lookout to continue driving with care. I'm Amo Ramela. Otherwise, Karabujali will have your next traffic update at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
You didn't get everything you were asking for. FlySafair is saying no winners. What did your members say when you brought the deal to them?
Look, I mean, the overwhelming majority of them voted for the deal. I think what's important to mention is that the eventual proposal and settlement was a proposal that was made by the CCMA. They call it the mediator's proposal.
Right.
So they basically took the last position of the union and the last position of the company. So it's sort of the middle point, and I tend to agree that there's winners in such a process.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
Don't miss out on Powerball jackpot estimated at a mind-blowing 124 million rand this Tuesday. Dare to dream big by playing Powerball now for the estimated 124 million rand jackpot and your chance at multi-millions. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
So we did a thing, a full commitment kind of thing. We've partnered with Sixt to bring worldwide to your doorstep. So you see how that's a serious thing, because that's what you deserve. We know you're the GOAT, so premium it is. Premium service, premium vehicles, premium you, premium us. Sani Sixt is all about adding extra to ordinary. Extra reach, extra countries, so you can be extra premium worldwide. Be the greatest of all time and rent Sani Sixt.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The full impact of the Trump tariffs of 30% for most of our goods to the US still sinking in. Our government giving a fuller reaction, essentially saying they'll keep trying to negotiate. They try and support firms that are about to lose a huge amount of business.
Given there should be a crisis committee that is actually put in place, let's adapt to the template that we had from NICOP, from NLCC, to deal with these trade challenges.
Cyril Mavuso was the CEO at Business Leadership South Africa.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB. ABSA is a proud lead sponsor of B20 South Africa 2025. ABSA is a registered FSP. Your story matters. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
Health and Wellness.
23 minutes before 12 o'clock. Time now for our health and wellness feature. And today we are talking about walking and running as a form of weight loss. Have you tried running, and has it helped you with losing weight or walking? You know, there are people who talk about 10,000 steps a day. I mean, is it really the gold standard for weight loss, or is there more to it? I'd like you to share your experiences with us because I want to talk to Derek Archer, who is the head of strength and conditioning at David Marist Inanda and director at FitPro. And I want to ask him really, what's the best way to do it? Because when it comes to losing a few kilos and improving your health, many people wonder, actually, what works better? Is it walking, or is it running? And yes, both forms of movement can burn calories and boost fitness levels, but they do differ in intensity, in impact, and in sustainability. I mean, you know, not everybody has access to gyms, especially in this country, or high-end equipment. So walking and running becomes, you know, the best option for some people. It's the simplest, it's the most affordable way to keep fit. So what's the best way to do the walking and to do the running if weight loss really is your target? Have you tried it? 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-7021-702. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to the show.
Good. Thank you very much for having me. Great to be here again.
Yeah. So walking and running, how do they compare when it comes to burning calories and supporting weight loss?
Okay, so ultimately your body's burning more energy while you are running. So your energy consumption or caloric expenditure is going to be greater when you're running. But at the end of the day, that number of calories that you're burning is dependent on the intensity that you're training at and the duration you're training at. So if we look at walking, for instance, your intensity is a little bit lower, although you could walk with intent and really push to walk hills and those kind of things to make the intensity a little bit higher without breaking into a run. But running does tend to burn more, and obviously the higher intensity involved with running, and if we push our running even further, the intensity actually creates a little bit more stress on the body, obviously, and that has to be dealt with after. So during the recovery process, your body also burns more calories to help you recover. But in saying that, duration is a big thing. So if we are going to work at a slightly lower intensity, in other words, we're going to walk instead of running. If we walk with purpose and we have a good metered duration of time that we're spending exerting ourselves or participating in walking, then we will start to burn a lot of calories. And it needs to be obviously a consistent thing. Consistency is key.
Okay. So there are some people who have different body types, who will say, okay, for me, running worked better. Some will say, oh, walking for me worked better. Are there certain body types? And of course, some people say, nah, it didn't work for me. I've been running for so long and I'm not losing weight. Are there certain body types or fitness levels that benefit more from walking than running or vice versa? So how do I know what could work for me is running or what could work for me is actually walking?
Look, at the end of the day, this is down really much to the individual. So firstly, it's about a choice. Okay. So they decide whether they're going to walk or run. Sometimes we may be impeded by things. So if we're carrying a lot of weight, for instance, it may not be great for our knees and our joints to start running. Whereas walking, because it's more of a daily activity, it's much more easier for us to follow something like that. So if we, say for instance, the weight may be an issue, we may have injuries, may have issues with our knees, for instance, or back problems, where going straight into running may be more detrimental than actually any good. And also someone that's perhaps a sedentary person. So now let's say they're wanting to get into exercise to lose weight. They're starting with just as generalize and say they're starting with a low base then. We just need them to start moving. It's better to get them to start walking rather than going into a run. Rather once they're comfortable walking and, if you look at walking, if we just take walking as our theme, obviously, there are different ways of walking. And one, we can just be taking a casual stroll versus going out there and actually walking with intent, moving your arms, walking, taking nice steps, nice strides, and using your whole body to walk. Walks can be as beneficial. And for someone that's just getting into it, they're a great way to start, but also not as, walking is not as intimidating psychologically as running is as well. So walking is a good way for a lot of people to get involved in it. That walking, once they get more comfortable, that their joints have been accustomed to load, their muscles have got stronger, and they feel more comfortable in themselves, then perhaps running would become the next option.
I see. And then what about the 10,000 steps? I mean, that's now like a famous thing. Where does that number come from? And is it really a good guideline?
Look, it's been around. I think it started with in Japan in about the 1960s. It was part of a big marketing campaign, and they said you should be doing 10,000 steps a day, and that's kind of stuck. And it's a big number if you think about it. For some people, a bit too intimidating. For others, okay, those are on their feet all day. 10,000 steps is quite achievable. So look, it's been a good marker so far. There was some current research. In fact, one of the articles was released last week, funny enough, that said 7,000 is actually the marker. Where they've noted changes in health, and this is primarily from a health perspective. Because remember, when you're training, certain elements or certain should we say combinations of intensity and time bring about a change in our health-related fitness components versus those that are, if we're pushing hard and training for an event or training to be fitter, you're required to do a little bit more than just those that are beneficial for health alone. So if you're looking from a health perspective, getting someone to a position where they're doing 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, but they're getting the benefits from a health perspective. So lowering our cholesterol levels, improving bone density, changing blood sugar levels, those kind of things, decreasing the risk of heart disease, all the non-communicable diseases, also the risk of those decrease as we get more active. So 7,000 steps according to that article, was the marker where we start to decrease the risk of our non-communicable diseases, so your heart disease, dyslipidemia or high cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, anxiety, those sort of things, the mental or emotional component of it as well. So I'd say 7,000 to 10,000. I mean, most people are quite happy with 10,000 because, like we said, it's a big number. But 7,000 seems to be a current indicator, but I would stick with 10,000. Although for many people, perhaps the 10,000 seems like a bridge too far. 7,000 might be an intermediary step to get there. So maybe work on the 7,000 and then go on to the 10,000. As you get more comfortable, you want to give your body more.
Okay, let's go to some WhatsApps now. 072 702 1702. What do you prefer, running or walking? If, of course, weight loss is your target. How many steps do you do a day, or how many kilometers do you run every week or per day? And has that helped you lose weight? Let's start with your WhatsApps.
Hi, Clement. This is Karabo in Midrand. With me, walking did a lot of wonders for me. And initially, I was just walking just for the fun of it because I hate running. So I had a herniated disc that prevented me from doing a lot of stuff at the gym. So I opted to wake up and walk every morning. And within 3 months, I had lost 4 dress sizes. So for me, walking, Jonga, best. It really worked wonders for me. Thanks, Clement. Bye.
That's amazing. Well done. Mpo is asking here, which activity tones muscles better?
Versus between running and walking?
Between the two, yeah.
Okay, so remember, when we're walking or running, we're training to do something for longer. So we're training for endurance. And yes, it is going to bring down our body fat levels, and it will work those muscles significantly, but not as much as combining it with a bit of strength training as well. And that might just be body weight stuff. You don't need to be in a gym. You can be doing squats and lunges, even push-ups. If you struggle with push-ups, you can put your hands on a table so that you're doing a slightly angled push-up to make it a bit less. But you need to stress our muscles slightly differently. So remember that the shape and the strength of the shape of our muscles and the sort of structure benefits quite significantly from strength training in addition to your walking and your running. And it doesn't have to be huge amounts of training. Just 2 strength sessions a week in addition to your walking or your running will make a big difference. And you'll feel it even with those exercises like your squats and lunges. Your walking and your running become even more efficient because now those muscles are even stronger, and they'll make your running and walking a lot easier too.
Okay. And then Anonymous says, Clement, I'm obese. I prefer walking, but I don't see the difference. Any advice from Derek?
Okay, so that's the thing, that it's down to an individual. So when we are looking at someone who is struggling to lose weight, there are a number of elements. Firstly, diet is a massive element. That's the first thing. Secondly, activity levels, but also, if possible, your body's you're physiologically controlled by hormones. So all our sort of internal processes. So if we are, if there's an issue and you're not losing weight, even after looking after your diet, after being as active as possible, it might be a good thing to go and get your blood checked and to check what your hormone levels are like. Because sometimes if the hormones are out of sync, it can be something simple like, after pregnancy, the hormones don't return to normal, as we've seen sometimes postpartum ladies battle to lose weight. But also, things with age, it could be stress. Our bodies are subjected to quite a few different variables that can affect our hormones. So that would be the next level to go and check, just to make sure that your insulin levels are correct, your blood sugar is right, those kind of things. And that's a good check for your overall health. But that might be the answer. Sometimes we can be training till we're literally blue in the face and not lose the weight that we should be expected to because our bodies are not responding in the right way based on hormones. So that would be a good option to check as well.
Okay. All right. So 12 minutes now before 12 o'clock. When we come back, we will hear from more of our listeners, get some of your voice notes and also your calls as well.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
You said that some people believe that the clinics and hospitals are overcrowded.
I'm on public record that you can't have people that we don't know who they are in our own country, where they come from. We can't document them, and we don't know their activities. That's a major security risk. But if we want to resolve that matter with a piecemeal approach of saying we are closing clinics and hospitals, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't think that we are dealing with the problem. Illegal immigration does not mean people that are coming from Africa alone.
Premier of Gauteng, Manyathela Show.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
You won't hear this in the news headlines, but it's worth talking about. Lorette, a 61-year-old woman, is a real insurance client who switched and now saves a newsworthy 725 Rand a month on a 2024 BMW X1. Get a quote today and see how much Outsurance could save you on your car insurance. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. You always get something out. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Hey, honey, look. Went to the shops, like you asked, and it was the Deco Fern birthday sale. Picked up this amazing 3-seater sofa for only $5,599. And this coffee table, just $489. Oh, and this gorgeous standing mirror for like $699.
Wow, I just asked you to get some milk.
Get deals worth celebrating at Deco Furniture's epic birthday sale with 10 to 40% and more of everything in store or online now at decofurnsa.co.za.
Here at Betway, we're finding every way possible to make sure you can win your next sports bet. With our new Bet Saver feature, you could get your stake back or more on bets with multiple losses. Stand to win, even when your bet misses. Bet Saver, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
702.
Health and wellness.
10 minutes before 12 o'clock. Straight to your WhatsApps.
Hi. So my husband has cervical myelopathy in his 4th and 5th. I think it's C4, C5, and C6. What type of exercises should he do? Thanks. It's Beryl Rankin. Bye.
Okay, so some spinal challenges there. Okay, cool. I'll get Derek to respond to that.
I'm curious in terms of walking the relationship with, injuries and having had a sedentary lifestyle. I'm in my 50s. Last year, January, I started walking regularly. 3 to 5 kilometers 3 times a week. Everything went wonderful, got fitness, lost a little bit of weight, really enjoyed it. And around about July, I started having, niggles, hip pain, things that wouldn't go away. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Different theories from people saying, it's tendinitis, bursitis, all those fun things. Couldn't shake it, took breaks, tried everything, reduced distance, went slower, etc., etc. Eventually, March this year, my GP referred me to a hip specialist, only to be told that I need both hips replaced in my early 50s. I didn't have any pain or issues before. Did I just draw a short straw here? Or is there a relationship to maybe be, exercising too much too soon? So I'm just curious to know. Thanks.
Sure, interesting. Yeah, Derek?
Okay, so on the first question around the spinal injury or the spinal complication, those, you definitely, those are, that sort of individual would possibly need to just check with a biokineticist or a physio as to what their limitations are. And if there's been a fusion and the neck is secure, then obviously, you try and avoid impact walking stuff. Possibly would be good, and even cycling as an option, like stationary bike cycling, that sort of thing. But once again, that would be down to a medical professional who actually assesses that gentleman, or what assesses his neck, just to make you can't sort of say something on the radio not having actually seen the gentleman in person. And the second question about the hips, I don't think over that duration of time you would have done that much damage to your hips. It depends on your footwear, perhaps your foot mechanics might be slightly out, so the impact going through your knee joints and hip joint might have been excessive. However, in saying that, you could have had an issue building over time. It could have been related to bone density as well. There are a number of variables. I don't think you can put it straight down to only walking. I know you did suddenly start and you carried on quite good for a period of time, quite a long period of time. But I don't think that would have done it yet. Once again, we have to check if there were any underlying conditions. Was there any genetic thing? Did any of your parents have anything? Any of your siblings have issues with their hips? Those are kind of the variables that I need to take into account. But at the same time, it shouldn't have created that much of an issue unless there were lower limb mechanical issues or bone structural issues.
Mm-hmm. Here's another voice note.
Also a challenge. Yeah.
Got you.
Good day, Clement. You know what? I have started running. I think I only have 2 weeks running, but then I normally do between 5 and 6 kilometers. Then within like maybe 55 minutes. But I'm worried, man. On weekends I don't normally run, but yesterday I did my very same routine, but then after I developed a knee pain. What could be the reason for that? Thanks, Mbuyiseni.
Derek?
Wow, that's also going to be one of those ones where there's so many things that can possibly have happened. It could have been stepping wrong. It could have been overloading. But if he's only just started running and he's running too much, so if he said he's just been running for the last 2 weeks or so, then if I heard correctly, then it might be too much too soon. It might be his footwear, his shoes if the shoes are not, they don't provide enough cushioning, if his feet are landing differently or not evenly on the ground, should we say, not through the normal gait cycle. There are a lot of different things there, but what he should do, based on the pain level, if he's lost functions, in other words, he can't really walk around and stuff like that, he should seek medical advice. If it's just sore and like achy, rest a little bit, maybe use the ice treatment for 20 minutes at a time roughly, to try and bring some inflammation down. And as a last resort, if he's taken them before, if he's used to it before, some sort of anti-inflammatory medication. But if it's really serious or hurting, the good idea is to get some sort of medical personnel to have a look at that.
Okay, got it. And then there was somebody else who asked about, hey Clement, please can you ask Derek there about like a 50-year-old who is going up and down the stairs? Like, does that help as well? So as opposed to running, like just doing the stairs?
Definitely. In fact, one of the prompts we had was, if you aren't able to go and walk outside, what can you do? And stairs are great. Obviously, as long as you obviously do it safely and rather, walk purposely up, work hard to get up, and then coming down, obviously be a little bit more cognizant of not losing your balance or putting your foot wrong. But walking up and down stairs is really good for you. Remember, your body doesn't really know what you're doing. Your brain knows you're going up and down, but the body just knows that it's got to provide energy to get those muscles to keep functioning, to allow you to keep moving up and down those stairs. So stairs are great. In fact, you can add some variation in it. If you become very proficient or very comfortable doing it, you can step up every second step, for instance. So it forces your legs to work a little bit harder. So it's a little bit of a variation, just from a strength perspective, but also will make your exertion level go up as well.
Yeah. Derek Archer, thank you so much for your time. He's the head of strength and conditioning at St. David's, Marist, Inanda, and director at FitPro.
The blockbuster main attraction at UFC 319 in Chicago on the 17th of August sees Dricus du Plessis take on Russia's Khamzat Chimaev. Will the South African fighter become a legend and defend his middleweight title for the third time while handing the challenger his first ever defeat? Catch all the thrilling action and be in it to win it. Bet 40 Rand or more on any UFC fight between 1 July and 17 August and stand a chance to win your share of 100,000 Rand in cash and prizes.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
It's more than just bread and butter. It's the golden croissants, the scent of fresh baked loaves, and the deli that knows your order by heart. These are the places that rise before the sun, so your mornings start just right. If there's a bakery or deli that adds warmth, comfort, and flavor to your week, now's your chance to say, I see you. Nominate your favorite under greatest bakery or deli at primemediaplus.com, because Gauteng isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence, and excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
Did you ever work in the UK? If you did for at least 3 years and you're under 67, you can get a guaranteed UK state pension worth up to 5 million rand over a typical retirement for just a small payment directly to UK revenue. Most people get 40 rand back for every rand they pay in. There's a big queue at UK revenue as this opportunity may end soon, so act fast. Call Extra Pension in Cape Town or see extrapension.com. Mind your UK pension and it'll mind you. Service fees apply.
Coming up
On the Midday Report.
with Mandy Wiener.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi, Clement.
What's popping?
We'll get the latest from the ANC NEC meeting, which concluded yesterday. The big question, I suppose, is will Action SA go into the GNU? I popped over to Herman Mashaba next door to go and ask him. So I'll play that interview.
His office is still here?
Yeah, right next door to us.
Oh my goodness!
So I took a little walk up there.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll play. We'll play.
You
that
interviewed
interview.
him in his office?
Mm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. The chairperson of the police ad hoc committee has been elected. So we'll find out about that. The terms of reference should be out by Friday on that big police inquiry. We'll get reaction to Maersk cutting its direct line between the US and South Africa, what that means. For us and for exporters. And we'll get an update on the Sheba mine and the issue around illegal mining.
All right, that's the Midday Report coming up after the news. Thank you for listening to the show. We're back tomorrow between 9 and 12. We're doing the People's Dialogue tomorrow. Come ready for the entire 3 hours of the show. We're dedicating them on a conversation about how did we get here, what are our challenges, and what are the potential solutions. Come ready tomorrow between 9 and 12 for the People's Dialogue. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon. I'm Bali Dlamini. The ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has elected its chairperson during its first meeting today. The ANC's Soviet Lekhanyane has been appointed to chair this committee. This means the 18-member multi-party committee can begin